Please don't spoil the movie by adding your own soundtrack. We're back. Hi, my name is Rick Sanchez, but you can also call me Jordan.
Rick Sanchez. My name is Hannah Montana.
Okay. I'm also a show. I don't know if you caught that.
Sure.
Yeah.
From what?
Rick and Morty.
Oh, okay. I don't really watch that show the way you do.
Yeah, but do you know the connection between Rick and Morty and the film that we're doing here today?
Oh, is it based off of Rick and Morty? Is it based off of Doc and Marty or something? That makes sense, I guess.
I like fan fiction almost.
Oh.
Type thing. Inspired by.
Very similar.
Very similar.
It makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Marty, Morty.
I
mean, Doc is.
What's the grandpa name in Rick and Morty? Morty.
No, Rick.
Rick.
Yeah. I don't know what
his name is Emmett Brown.
Emmett. Yeah. Emmett, Rick.
No. No correlation.
No correlation.
Well, what are we doing here today?
It's been a while.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's been some days, some moons, some weeks. What's been up?
Nothing much. Planning for a wedding.
Oh, right. You're getting married.
I know. Craziness. Planning for a wedding. That fun jazz.
All that fun stuff. You haven't even gotten to the real neck of the woods things of yet. We haven't even touched anything serious.
I know. Just bring me to the dress part and everything else could just fall to the waistline.
Fall into play.
Yeah.
Or not fall into play.
Right.
Whatever.
Any fun news for you?
Oh God. Let's see. As everyone knows, I had my You thought I was gonna say something else, didn't you?
Yeah.
You thought okay. I had my gallbladder. I had my gallbladder removed a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Well, not even a few months ago, back in January. And I have one less organ, and my stomach was still bothering me after the fact. Mm-hmm. And then so, like a week ago, I ended up getting not as invasive as the surgery. It was a procedure, but it wasn't a surgery. But they ended up putting like an endoscope down my throat to see what else is going on. And I also found out I have an ulcer on my stomach, so my body hates me.
Right. So hopefully the pills that you take.
So yeah, hopefully once I clear up this ulcer, that will just clear up all the stomach issues that I've been having. I would love to go back to 2021 when my stomach was normal.
So it never heals because so it's just like been.
I think it was just two separate pains going on.
Oh.
Like the gallbladder thing was one pain, got rid of it, I was doing fine, and then out of every now and then. Well, I feel like they were both. I definitely had the ulcer while I had my gallbladder in. I guess I was getting those pains confused. Like the gallbladder was one pain.
Oh, interesting.
And the ulcer was a different pain. Because I would always have different types of pains.
Mm-hmm.
And then
which one is this?
So now that the gallbladder is gone, that pain's gone, and I still be feeling the ulcer pain.
What's the ulcer pain?
The ulcer pain is like a wax on, wax off feeling.
Mm.
The gallbladder pain was like, I don't even remember anymore. To be quite honest, I don't even remember what the gallbladder felt like.
Yes, that's good.
But it would radiate to my back. That much I know. Oh. That when it used to cut up, my back used to be on fire when I had my gallbladder in. I was like, oh my God. So.
You've been taking your ortho medicine?
Yes. On the bottle, it says take 4 a day. That's so crazy.
You know what this reminds me of?
I can't take 4. That and they're big and bulky and taste like sand. I'm doing 2. We starting off with 2.
Oh goodness, gotta heal it. It's like in Casino. He had ulcers, stomach ulcers.
Is that stress. A show?
The movie Casino, like the
my favorite.
Yeah,
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Oh,
he had stomach ulcers.
I don't remember that part.
He said drink like this liquid to coat his stomach, I think.
Ugh.
But from the stress.
That's fair.
Yeah, stress will kill you.
That's right.
So maybe that's where it started.
Speaking of stress.
Okay.
Another segue.
Okay.
I just completed tryouts for what may or may not be my 4th year as an NFL cheerleader.
3rd year.
If I'm being,
It'd be your 3rd year.
No, this will be my 4th.
What?
Yes. 1, 2, 3 just finished. We're moving on to 4. Hopefully, maybe not.
I thought it was your 3rd year.
This is my 4th year. If
It
we're
was
lucky.
you don't. What's the first song? You don't wanna see me. That's a what was the second?
You're hilarious. That one was If You Don't Wanna See Me. That was COVID year.
You made it that year.
No, I didn't make it that
okay.
year.
Okay. What was it next?
That's I just tried out. That was before they had cheer.
Okay.
And like I didn't even make it to
Okay.
prelims. They were like,
Right.
this chick can't dance. So that was that year. That was
Uh-huh.
COVID year. Then the next year, that's when they added
Song
cheer. That's Swipe Me Down.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay. Okay. What's the year after that?
the year after that. So year 2, I don't know what's the. I don't know how to identify.
Is that where your braid year? What was going on? That's when you were like, let's advocate for these braids.
That was year 1. That was
Oh.
the end of year 1, transitioning into year 2. Year 2 was the first concussion.
Okay. You didn't go to London.
I did go to London year 2.
So
year 2 is London. Year 3 is concussion number
Yeah.
3.5.
Okay. Oh, I could have sworn this was your third year. Would have been your third year.
No.
Oh, wow.
So, completed tryouts for that a couple of weeks ago. If I'm going to be frank, if I'm going to be candid with everyone, it's not looking too hot for me.
You never know.
I really don't know. So we'll see. I don't know. Preparing for the worst, hoping for the best.
Amen.
But just be ready, Jordan, for a whirlwind of emotions.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm glad we're getting this out the way.
If it doesn't go in my favor.
We're all mentally preparing.
Yep. Because it's not going to be a pretty sight for anybody in this house.
Oh yeah, we know.
Ugh.
Clear the. Mom was telling me she's expecting it any day now. I was like, oh.
You're dreading.
Right. I'm like, hopefully I'm gone by then.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
So I'm going to the beach Thursday.
Oh, for Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah. Mom is supposed to be working Sunday.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah, Mother's Day.
You're going to the beach on Mother's Day weekend?
I know. Chancellor keeps picking these days, and I applied to this freaking job, and I got an interview, and the interview's Thursday.
Oh.
At
Are you
1
going to do
p.m.
it?
Yeah.
It's virtual?
No.
Oh, it's in person?
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Fuck?
Even the first one, I was like, Jesus, shouldn't we have like a
Not even a
prelim?
phone? Right. A phone
Yeah, I talked
interview?
to. I don't know who I talked to. I don't know if she's like HR. That's a great question. But I talked to some lady named Reagan today. She seems very nice. She's the revenue manager. I like her. It's a good sign. I liked her spirit. But yeah, they were like in person. It's not a good sign for an interview because I mean, there's no remote.
Right. That's what I realized when I applied for the job that I have now. When they were like, "Oh yeah, an in-person interview." That was the first in-person interview I had done since I was like 20 years old. I was like, an in-person interview. It was when they said that was a foreign concept to me. I was like, I haven't been in person for an interview since I was in college.
Right. This is the last in-person interview I did was with Bourgeois Bennett. But I don't know. I feel like we talked on the phone with someone first. I feel like usually you talk to HR and HR like, and then like she emailed me today. The interview was supposed to be Friday. She wanted it to be Friday, but I was like, I can't do Friday. She was like, can you do Thursday? And I was like, I'm going to the beach. But
what time were y'all supposed to leave on Thursday?
10 a.m.
No, y'all not leaving until 2.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't have to be at work.
Right.
So
I can't believe. Did you ask for a virtual option?
No.
I'm like, can we do this virtually?
Nah, I mean, people who are.
I don't know. Like, I'm traveling during that time.
I know. She was so nice, and she was like, I went to talk to my bosses, like my bosses. Like it sounded like she had to like, I don't know why they
get approval for you to come in on Thursday instead of Friday.
Right, yeah. And I'm just like, I've never had an interview where they were like, can you come in like 2 days to interview? Usually it's like, hey, do you have availability next week? Or not like, she emailed me today. My interview was supposed to be Friday. I'm like, damn, girls, this is some quick turnaround. You must really need people.
I mean, no, that sounds about right. Within like a few days, yeah, like 3 days, 2 days.
I want like next week. But they moved and I applied to it last week. I'm like, okay, I fuck with it. I fuck with the
And what would you be doing in this role?
Accounting.
Same old.
Right.
Same old
So
stuff.
working for the government. I want their benefits.
Oh.
I
see.
That's my goal.
Don't sound like no remote work. Are you ready to hang that up?
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can go in the office every day.
Well, what if they say you have to come in the office every day?
It's a pass. It's not a smash.
It's a no for me. Thank you for the opportunity.
If they happen to offer me $85,000, which I'm sure they won't because it's government or something, and like in office, like it would have to be beneficial.
Something would have to
because I'm
make up for that,
right? Because I'm already kind of expecting switching to a government jobs pay cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we'll see then.
I'll take a pay cut for fully remote, but to be in the office every day,
that's a no for me, dog.
We'll see. They might not even like me.
That's fair.
But you have anything else? This is gonna be a doozy today, so I didn't know.
I know. Yeah. Everybody get your thinking caps on for this one.
When
I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, why did we pick this movie?
Jade's notes alone are 2 pages.
Right.
I hope these are the most important ones.
This is literally, when I was typing it, I was like, I think this is the longest I've ever dedicated to notes.
Like back in your day, you used to they used to have no notes on this.
Right. This one had all the notes.
Right.
I was like,
I bet it did.
Even thinking, and I knew it was, like, even thinking about typing up my notes, I was like, oh my god. This is going to take forever. And it did. Right. Okay.
Tell us about the movie.
Think future. Think the past. Think interesting friendship relationships between an older man and a younger boy. Think a dog. Think time travel. Think a car used for importantness things related to the time travel. Gotcha. Think bullies. Think life-altering situations that can change the course of history.
Yeah, it's so stressful.
Think the 50s. Think the 80s. Think crazy Albert Einstein hair.
10 out of 10.
And think a little racist.
A little racist?
A little racist with some Libyans in there.
Oh.
And that brings us to drumroll, please. Back to the Future. Woo!
We're going back to the future. Back. Which is why I chose the name
Rick and
Sanchez.
Morty. Oh,
because that's what it's based off.
His name is Rick Sanchez?
Yeah.
Why? Are they Spanish?
Right. No, it's just no. They're good fashion white
I
blooded
was to
Americans.
say, interesting. Set in 1985, the film follows Marty McFly, a teenager accidentally sent back to 1955 in a time-traveling DeLorean automobile built by his eccentric scientific friend Emmett Doc Brown, where he inadvertently prevents his future parents from falling in love, threatening his own existence, and is forced to reconcile them and somehow get back to the future. The film is a 1985 American science fiction film directed by Robert
Zemskis. Zemeckis. Say fast.
That guy. And written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. The film was released July 3rd, 1985 and distributed by Universal Pictures with Steven Spielberg serving as a producer.
Okay. A producer.
A producer.
Okay.
So, these two guys who wrote the film, longtime collaborators, these two, Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis. They conceived Back to the Future back in 1980. Bob Gale, was visiting his parents and came across his father's high school yearbook. He wondered if him and his father would have been friends if they attended high school together. He thought, probably not. But then realized he could test his theory if he could travel back in time and to see his parents when he was a similar age as them. He shared this idea with Robert, and the two began to draft the script.
That's cute.
Isn't it adorable? I love how he's like, yeah, my dad was a loser. I wouldn't be friends with him. Yeah, he started like, yeah, I don't think we'd have been friends.
He's like, I hate my dad, actually.
Yeah, he sucks. He's a loser. Some early concepts were abandoned when the film was, being put together originally. Marty's actions in 1955 had a more significant impact on the future making 1985 be like more futuristic and advanced. But every person who read the script thought that was like an issue and was weird and confusing. Yeah. And then Marty's father originally was supposed to become a boxer.
That's so stupid.
After knocking out.
Oh my God! No way! That's such a jump.
Yeah.
He's gonna become a boxer. He punched one guy.
Right. So, and then the time machine was also supposed to be a stationary object that
fair.
was like attached to the back of a truck.
That's fair. But I like how
the script was rejected more than 40 times.
Damn.
From different,
studios. Places. Okay.
Reasons given included the concept being unappealing to contemporary rebellious youth.
So stupid.
The failures of other time travel films, and not featuring overly sexual elements like other popular movies of the time, such as Animal House, Porky's, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Not the producers are like, but where are the titties?
Yeah, they're like, where's the sex?
Yeah, and there's like,
we can't sell this.
So who's gonna do the shower scene? I'm confused.
It's too innocent.
Oh, I love how they didn't add that or anything. Because it's not what this film's about.
Like it's like they're like, oh, it's not like these racy movies about high school. That's because these racy movies are about high school. This is about time travel. Tits don't fit into the plot.
This is about friendship, time travel.
It's about time travel. Like, we don't have time to add in sex jokes in this.
Exactly.
We gotta get back to 1985.
We don't have time to add a rape scene.
Right. We don't have time for that. Get out of here. After receiving success from another movie project called Romancing the Stone, starring Michael Douglas, Robert Zemeckis kind of created enough credibility to get Back to the Future in order for it to get picked up. And that's when he turned to Steven Spielberg, who had set up his own production company within Universal Studios.
Oh, interesting.
So that's how we got here.
I didn't know that about Steven Spielberg.
Yes. Michael J. Fox was the first choice to portray Marty McFly, but was not given the script due to concerns that he would not be available to do the film and wouldn't have time because he was on Family Ties. One of those like 80s sitcom shows. Other young stars who were considered included John Cusack, could totally see it. C. Thomas Howell, I don't know who that is. Johnny Depp, Ralph Macchio, Charlie Sheen, John Cryer, Ben Stiller, Peter DeLucy, don't know who that is. Billy Zane, George Newbern, Robert Downey Jr., Christopher Collette, Matthew Modine, don't know who that is, and Corey Hart. He's a singer, so we really don't know who that is. So yeah.
Howley was the front runner. Who's that? Sorry, I'm reading the notes.
One of them people who I just listed. Oh, Thomas Howell. C. Thomas Howell.
Did you know who that was?
No.
Okay. Well, it just says, sorry, I'm reading ahead, but it says he was the front runner.
Yeah, stop reading ahead.
Sorry. Oh, this guy.
Who was he?
I feel like I know him more. He was in The Outsiders, but you probably
don't
remember.
Yeah. The main guy. Was he the main guy?
I don't remember, but this
Stay
guy,
Golden Pony Boy. You played Pony Boy, right?
I need to watch that movie again. Honestly, I can't think of his face as a younger version. Oh, you're looking at it right now, but I know his face old, but I don't know his face young.
Google, type in Pony Boy.
What do we say? Okay, no, yeah, he's Pony Boy, yeah.
Jesus. It took us a million years to get that.
I didn't know I don't remember Patrick Swayze being in The Outsiders. Tom Cruise was in The Outsiders?
What? Have you not seen the movie?
It's been a while. Okay. Rob Lowe was in The Outsiders?
They're all brothers.
I know. I need to rewatch it. That's such a good movie.
Okay. I could have definitely seen John Cusack, right? I was like, they put him in everything. Sure.
Yeah.
Then I could have, I don't know about the dude from The Outsiders. Johnny Depp, no.
Really? No, he's not funny enough.
Ralph Macchio, the guy from Karate Kid, could have totally seen him do it. I could have seen Charlie Sheen do it. John Cryer, no. He should have played like the dad or something.
Ben Stiller could have done it. I think he could have done it.
I feel like I've never seen Ben Stiller in anything before he's like 30, so the concept of seeing him play a teenager.
But he's like fun. He's funny.
I feel like I could see this. I don't. What role have you seen Ben Stiller in as a teenager? Like, we've only seen
that doesn't stop me.
We've only seen him play like 30 and above. So just the concept, I don't see it. Just it's not clicking for me. So I can't see Ben Stiller. Peter DeLucy, I don't know who that is.
Let's see, that name sounds familiar.
Billy Zane.
Which one's Billy Zane?
Put a cork in it, Zane. You know, Zoolander. You know, he's like, and Billy's like, he comes up to him and he's like, this kid, like, he's like, put a cork in it, Zane. That's Billy Zane.
But what the fuck does he do?
He's not, I really don't know what he be in. But he is in this movie. He just doesn't play anybody important.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
Fast and Furious. He's in Back in the Future.
Yes. George Newbern, he looks familiar. He's in something. Father of the Bride.
I think Robert Downey Jr. could have done it.
Definitely could have seen the junior, my guy, for sure. Who else? Get out of the way. Christopher Collette, I don't know who that is. Matthew, his face looks familiar, but I don't really know him. But anywho, that's about everybody.
Yeah.
Back to regular scheduled programming. So yeah, one of like this producer wanted the guy from The Outsiders to do it.
Yeah.
But another producer was like, no, let's go with this guy, Eric Stoltz.
Okay.
I don't really know. If you look him up, he really don't look recognizable. I read that he's directed some episodes of Glee before, but I'm like, oh, that's neat. But yeah. So they give the role to this guy, Eric Schultz. Right? Or they're considering
him. Yeah. Is he not in? Never mind. I thought he was in. But yes, he does look familiar, and I do know. He's in Pulp Fiction. Don't remember what in Pulp Fiction. Oh, he's in Anaconda. That's where I know his face from. He's like evil in Anaconda. Oh. He's a bad guy. Is he? Yeah. He's like willing to sacrifice them all so that he can get the snake venom because it's going to make you young or something. Oh. But okay. What happened to him?
Hold on. Okay. And then, of course, for the role of Doc, Jeff Goldblum was considered. John Lithgow was considered. Look him up. You know him.
Okay.
You've seen his face. What is he in, everybody? Let me see. I don't know. He's in like a lot.
John Lithgow.
I get him and Chevy Chase confused.
Right.
But they're not the same person.
He's in Daddy's Home too. That helps. Anyone?
More recent work.
He's in Footloose. What is he big in? I feel like he's just like he's in a lot of stuff, but he's just like the dad.
What is he in?
He's a dad, and This Is 40. If anyone knows that, he's just in a lot of stuff. He's just like the dad.
Yeah, I just feel like he's always playing a dad.
Yeah, he's just the dad. I feel like his biggest role might have been Daddy's Home too. Because
So that guy, Dudley Moore, never heard of him. Don't even bother looking him up. Never heard of him. Okay. Ron Silver, also never heard of him. Robin Williams, Chef's Kiss. He would have been good. I feel like him and Michael J. Fox are the same age though. So I was like, how would that have worked? John Cleese, never heard of him. Mandy Paxton, never heard of him. Gene Hackman, never heard of him. And James Woods were all considered for the role of Doc.
You know James Woods?
Yeah, you know James Woods. Go look him up. He's like, you've heard his voice before. He was on Family Guy. You know, he plays himself on Family Guy, James Woods. I also feel like he's like the voice of like the whatever that is in Hercules, like the devil.
Oh, the demon, the
whatever it is.
What's his name? He's like the leader of hell.
Hades.
Yeah. Okay.
So all of these people were up for the role of Doc. They wanted it to go to John Lithgow or whatever his name is, but he was unavailable. But Christopher Lloyd, who plays Doc, he had worked with the producers on something else, so they gave it to him.
Tight.
Right. And he almost didn't do it. He was like, I didn't really want to do it, but he
That's
did it. Crazy. Thank God for it.
The rest is history.
And then for the role of Biff, Billy Zane once again was up for the role.
Okay, Billy Zane.
Tim Robbins, J.J. Cohen, and Peter DeLuise, who we also mentioned was up for the role as Marty as well. So.
Okay.
And then it went to the guy who plays Biff. I don't even know his name. Thomas Wilson ultimately got the role. It went to him. So let's go back to Eric Schultz here.
Yeah, the guy they chose.
The guy who they picked. So
Lord.
filming started with him as Marty, but there was issues immediately with him right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Zemeckis, who was the writer and he's also the director, wasn't feeling it. They weren't getting the laughs they needed from him. For whatever reason, he was doing it like he was approaching it as if this was like a serious film. So Leah Thompson, the girl who plays, I think, the mom.
Lorraine.
Yeah, who plays Lorraine. She was like saying, like, I guess in an interview, she said like one day they were all, it was like the first table read and they were doing like the table read. Everybody was like laughing and joking. And he wasn't at all. And like when he would get to his parts, like he would like read everything so seriously. And Schultz even said that everybody was laughing, but to me, it's not a comedy. It's a tragedy. Right?
Could you honestly? This movie stresses me out so much, and if it was a tragedy, I probably would never watch it again.
Yeah,
this is such a stressful movie.
Like what?
Why would it doesn't need to be more serious?
Has ever been like a that serious?
Like that butterfly movie.
Your time machine is a freaking DeLorean. Why do you think this is a serious movie?
Like it's not. They're not
Your
stopping
name is
it.
Marty McFly.
Right, they're not stopping Hitler. He's just trying to make sure his family doesn't have a shitty life.
Right,
like
exactly.
It's not serious.
Exactly. So off jump, they were like, he's like playing it in a serious tone instead of like the like quirky like energy that they were like looking for.
Right.
So they were like, well, what do we do? And then so they go to Steven Spielberg and they were like, well, look,
fire him.
Y'all can't fire him unless y'all find a replacement.
Oh.
And then because he was like, if y'all fire him, y'all got a replacement, they're going to cancel the movie. So y'all need to find a replacement first.
Okay.
So they go back to Michael J. Fox. So the reason why Michael J. Fox didn't even do it, okay, so the producers or the writers, right? Mm-hmm. The two writers, Kaczynski and Gale, they sent the script to like the showrunner or like a producer for Family Ties. And they asked the man who they sent the script to, they're like, can you give this script to Michael J. Fox? Can he do this movie? We really want him to do it.
This is originally.
Yes. This is before Schultz came in. Okay. This is when they first wanted Michael J. Fox. The guy, he never gives it to him. Because they're filming Family Ties. They're like, he's crucial to the show.
Hell no.
And then one of the other main characters on the show, she was like out for maternity leave. So they were like, we can't have two of our stars missing.
Trash can.
So he never gives them the
Don't
script.
blame him. Trash can.
So then they go with the other guy. They go with Schultz. So Steven Spielberg is like, you can't fire him unless you get the replacement. So then they follow back up. They tell him again. They're like, hey, can we please, like, can we look into this? Whatever.
Right.
The lady who was on maternity leave, she's off of maternity leave.
Okay, we're back.
He agrees to do it. He doesn't even read the script. Michael J. Fox is like, sure, I'll do it. Oh, They're like, the role's yours.
He must have been tired of Family Ties.
Yeah. They were like, the role is yours. He doesn't even read the script. He's like, I'll do it. But, okay, this is like 6 weeks into filming. They've already shot like 30-40% of the film with Eric Schultz, right? And then, so Michael J. Fox agrees to do it, but they can't, it's not like, you know, the next day, okay, we're starting, they got to go through contracts and blah, 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 blah. They're still filming with Eric Schultz.
Oh, so they can't.
They're still having this motherfucker show up to work, already got his replacement lined up. They still got him showing to work, doing whatever. Ain't that fucked up?
I would rather jump off a cliff than get an acting job. Act, and them tell me, I hate what you're doing, you're fired. I'd rather you just never look in my direction.
Yeah, like, don't even cast me from
like
jump.
I walk in the room, you can laugh at me. Ha 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 ha, loser, and kick me out.
And kick me out of the
Then hire me, see what I give you, and hate it.
Right.
And then, like, go through the process start filming, and then you know what? They're like, fuck it. He has to go.
On January 10th, 1985, Zemkis informed Schultz that he was being fired. Zemkis described it as the hardest meeting I've ever had in my life, and it was all my fault. I broke his heart.
I love that. I appreciate that he's like, like this was so hard. Okay.
So, they did 6 weeks of filming with him. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately they had to reshoot everything, and it cost them somewhere between $3 to $4 million, and they had to pay him his entire salary.
Amen.
Which is good. That's the silver lining. They still had to pay him. So, and you know, when I was doing my research, like you can find like photos and like videos of him.
I think it did pop up when I Googled him.
And to me, I was like, they look the exact same. Like I was like, I don't see any difference.
He must have just not delivered.
I guess.
He must have.
But it's just like even looking at him, I was like, he looks exactly like Michael J. Fox, just like a bigger version, like taller.
I mean, I guess they had him in the same outfits. Could you just imagine? Be like, can you guys make this outfit shorter and tinier for the new guy?
So,
oh my god, yeah, he does.
Does he look just like him?
I guess it's just like he's just like in his out. I feel like part of it is because he's in his clothes.
They're not even wearing the same clothes.
Right here, he's wearing that vest.
That's Michael J. Fox.
No, that's this Zuzinski guy.
Let me see.
You know, it's Eric. They look just alike. That's not Michael J. Fox.
This is Michael J.
No,
Fox.
it's not.
Jordan, this is Michael J. Fox.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that is.
That is Michael J. Fox. This. Give me phone.
Oh, it is. Thank you.
He's like in black. He don't even have like the red jumpsuit on.
Oh. Okay, carry on.
Melra Hardin was cast as Jennifer Parker on a 2-film contract. So she was cast as the girlfriend.
Oh.
You know who that is?
Yeah, the girlfriend. Oh, no.
Jan from The Office.
What? How is that Jan?
She was cast as the girlfriend on a 2-film contract. After Schultz's replacement came through, the crew were not up for the idea of Hardin, Jan from The Office, being shorter than Michael J. Fox. So they fired her too.
They said, fuck it.
Isn't that awful?
Because she was shorter?
She was, he was shorter than her. She was taller than him. And they're like, it doesn't look right. So they fired her.
They're in like 5 scenes. They're in 5 scenes together.
Like literally she's in the movie for 2 seconds. It's not that big of a deal.
Let him stand on something.
Yeah.
What?
Like it never got that deep.
Did they pay her?
I don't know.
She was cast as Jennifer on a 2-film contract. So she was supposed to do 2 films.
She was supposed to do the first one and the second one.
Oh.
And so that didn't work out for her. So yeah.
I don't
She was replaced by Claudia Wells, who's in this one. But she's also not even in the second one. The girl who plays the girlfriend in this one is not played by the same girl in the second one.
Ooh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate movies. Especially like the guy.
But honestly, I never even noticed it. I mean, she's so minute in this film. We only see her twice. Like it's really it's really not even that.
But I hate when they just throw away female love interests.
I know.
Oh God, I can't stand it.
Well, she's not very vital.
I feel like back then they used to do it all the time. It was like, oh, I have a cold, and it's like let's just
fire.
No, let's just like replace her. I feel like now they just like, okay, we have to write a new story, but I can't stand when they're just like Aunt Viv.
Oh,
it's just the same aunt.
Well, they had beef there.
Right, but I just can't stand it. Like I can't say
no one likes light skin Aunt Viv over dark skin Aunt
No,
Viv.
it's not even that. It's the concept.
I mean, the fact that she got fired, yeah.
No.
What's
I don't care that she got fired. I don't like when they just put in a different person in the same character. Rewrite. Like don't just give me the same
divorce her.
Yeah, divorce her. Like I don't like this I hate that shit. It drives me insane.
Fair.
Be interesting at least.
Crispin Glover, who plays George McFly, the dad, or the insecure father, was critically acclaimed for his performance, but there was some friction on set between him and Zemeckis. He was a real shit, apparently.
The
The guy who plays George McFly, Crispin Glover.
He's a dick.
Like he was just like, he would come in. First of all, they said like, I guess they like toned his character down. Like the way he wanted to do it was like really weird and crazy because he's apparently really weird and crazy. And like they were like, he's doing too much. And he wanted to do like all of this. And they're like, no, you're crazy. You're supposed to be nerdy, not a psychopath. Calm down. And then also like he wanted
and this is him toning it down?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the toned down version.
Oh.
And then he wanted to do something with like his hair or something like that. And Zemeckis or whatever was like, no, we've already filmed all of these shots.
Yeah.
If you change your hair, we'd have to redo everything. And then he said something about Marlon Brando. Like, Marlon Brando does it all the time. And then the director was like, you're not Marlon Brando! You're a 21-year-old inexperienced kid who got lucky and has this job.
He's 21 playing the dad. I think that makes so much sense because I cannot stand the dad. I do not feel sorry for him. He honestly makes me uncomfortable.
He makes me very uncomfortable.
And it's like, you're supposed to feel like, oh my God, the dad. But I'm just like, someone get him off my screen. I don't know what we have to do.
Yeah, it's like,
can we kill him in the future?
He does it good, but it's like, also like,
it's not
weird.
It's not. I feel like we're supposed to feel sorry for him, and I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I don't feel any, like, oh, I'm rooting for the dad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he grosses me out. Like, right. I don't like him.
Right.
Like, I'm not rooting for him.
Yeah.
I think the mom could do better. It's just.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he did mess it up. I wonder if Zemeckis's idea was someone we were supposed to love. Because it did not happen.
He dropped it.
He dropped the ball. Because I'm not saying that.
And I never noticed this, but he doesn't come back in the second one.
Thank God.
I never noticed that. But then I Googled.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, I could have sworn. They were like, yeah, they fired him like for the second one. Like they didn't ask him to come back. And I was like, I could have sworn he in the second one. Girl, I went and looked to see who they got in the second one. It looks so creepy. It's like they tried to take his face.
Oh,
and make it look like him.
So they kept his character in the movie?
Yes.
He's not dead or anything?
No, they keep the character. It's just played by somebody else. But I don't know if they put like a mask over it.
Because they want him to look
like him. Yeah. It looks so creepy.
I just know I don't like the second one because it is creepy. It's very dark and it creeps me out and I never like to watch it. But I don't remember the dad's face. But even like the mom situation and how dark everything is, just so sad and gloomy. I hate the second one.
The second one is depressing.
It's so, and I always just think about when he wakes up in his bedroom and his mom's there with those fake boobies. And it just always makes me like it scares me. Like I haven't seen it in so long, but like I need to go back and watch it.
Trauma.
It's just so dark. It's just so hard to watch.
Budget.
85, 80s. There's a lot going on here.
Is that your guess for the budget?
No. Okay. I'm saying the year. 20 million.
Look at you.
Okay.
$19 million.
Okay.
Box office.
And this is just okay. So I feel like it's a hard one because when does the box office stop?
Once the movie's out of theaters.
Okay. So it's not like.
Duh.
Okay, let's see. That movie's probably in theaters a while. Let's say it's a big one. 100 million.
Okay. No.
I refuse to go lower. 150.
No.
I refuse to go lower. 200.
No.
I refuse to go lower. 300?
No.
I said that already? I refuse to go lower. Do I need to go lower?
Keep going. Whatever.
I refuse to go lower.
Okay,
500.
No.
Okay, yeah, stop. Stop. I give up. What?
$388 million.
Oh, okay. All right. I killed it with 500.
Yeah. You're doing good.
I was doing good. I was like, fuck it. This movie changed history.
The film became. Oh my God! Why did I sound like that? No, the film. That's how I sounded. The film became the highest grossing film of 1985 worldwide and was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, winning Best Sound Editing.
That's random. Best Sound Editing?
Yeah, so random. I didn't even know that was a category. Back to the Future has since grown into esteem and is now considered by critics and audiences to be one of the greatest science fiction films among the best films ever made.
I agree.
In 2007, the United States Library of Congress selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry. The film was followed by 2 sequels, Back to the Future Part 2 in 1989 and Back to the Future Part 3 in 1990.
You know what I'm happy to say? They've never tried to remake this movie.
I know. I was thinking about that.
I'm sure everyone's too afraid to touch it.
They should be.
They should be.
They should be.
No one's ever remade this film.
But must I say, Part 3, the fucking cowboy shit, I was like, this is awful.
Oh my god, Part 3 is my favorite.
Oh my god, I hate it. It's not the 80s anymore.
I
don't like that.
Love the cowboy one.
The cowboy, it's so random. I know, I hate it.
I love it. I think it's, I get it. But to me, it's the most lovely one.
I like number 2 better.
I feel like the number 2. I guess I was mixing number 1 and number 2.
I think number 1 and number 2 have so much overlap.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Because because then I was thinking about when Biff tells younger him, like, here's that book with like, this is who was in the future. And I couldn't remember when that happened, but I was like, that happens in number 2. Right. But then I was like, so he also goes to the future number 2? I don't know. I in my head, I'm like, I'm not seeing how it happens. Right. I need to rewatch it. But I definitely remember how part 3 happens. And I just love him with the cowgirl. I like that one.
It was so random.
They had to go somewhere else.
I mean, I guess it's like, okay, we
have to go
past,
back.
We've done the future. What now?
We have to go back.
Cowboys.
I love that one.
That's dumb. I'm
gonna have to go. You know what we had to do? I feel like this one we might have to finish out.
What do you mean?
Usually, we haven't done a part 2.
But we've done Charlie's Angels.
Right. But we might have to finish. I feel like this is one movie.
Eventually we're going to do the second one and the third one. Mm. It's only right.
Yeah. I feel like we can't do too big of a gap. Because I feel like it's just such a cliffhanger movie. Like,
no, we can leave a decent gap in there.
It's fine. We must come back.
The people have seen the movie. They know what the cliffhanger is about.
I don't know.
They're not relying on us to tell the story.
Right. I don't know who our demographic is sometimes.
Yeah.
But if it's our friends, they haven't seen it. They've never seen any of this.
I feel like
need to know.
When I've been talking to Reagan.
I'll be talking to these children.
When I've been talking to Reagan, she
tell people who Reagan
one of my friends. She's one of my
but
friends.
She's younger. Right?
Yeah, she's younger than me. I'm 28. What is she, like 22? Oh, she's a child. 22. But she don't watch she doesn't listen to the ones that she hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Because she's like, if I listen to it, she's like, I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. Oh. She's like, I don't understand anything if I haven't seen the movie. I'm like, that's fair. So she's only listened to the movie that she's seen, and it's very limited because she was born in 2001. So
I hope it gets her. She hasn't seen Princess.
She don't know half the movies we did. Because when I told her, I was like, oh yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You is our most listened one. She was like, oh yeah, I've never listened to that one because I don't know that movie. And I was like, that's crazy.
That's one you should watch.
Yeah.
It's just some that always stand the test of time. She does know
Bring It On. She's listened to the Bring It On. She said that's her favorite.
Oh, it needs to be.
Yeah.
Cheerleader.
Right. Right. I don't know if she listened to the Austin Powers one, but she was like, oh my god, another movie I finally seen.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
No, all of that. She's like, Austin Powers? Like, damn, bitch.
Right. From Bring It On to Austin Powers. That's the only two she's seen. I'm like, what's going on here?
It's a big gap there. All right. Any other facts?
That is all I have.
All right, shawty, let's dive in.
Start from the top.
Yes. Okay. So the film begins in the chaotic home of Emmett Doc Brown. We can clearly tell from his home that he's some type of inventor who has ADHD. He's got a lot going on. He seems like he's very smart and things execute well, but it's just too much in his brain.
Yeah. Too much in his brain. He's got to get it all out.
Yeah, he just got to get it all out. Also, we're in his home and he has the TV on. And there's a
The year is 1985.
The year is 1985. The news reporter is talking about how there was a stolen batch of plutonium. And then we cut to under Doc's bed. We see a box labeled plutonium.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's a box of plutonium.
Oh, I missed that.
Wink, wink.
That's hilarious.
And then we see...
But she also says, the reporter says that it was stolen from some lab or whatever. And that originally they thought it was stolen by some Libyans.
Yeah.
But turns out that it was just misplaced.
Which I'm assuming what happened, it actually was stolen by the
The Libyans.
But, the government's like, oh, no, we replaced that. Right. No, we lost it. I just think they're just trying to do a cover-up.
Right.
Because it definitely was stolen. Because we see it. And then, as all this stuff is going on in the background, machines are moving, they're opening cans, all this crap. Teenager Marty McFly stops by Doc's house. He's like his...
Doc isn't there.
He's not there. And Doc and Marty's relationship is like friends that...
I love that we don't know.
We don't know how this started.
We don't know how this started. We just...
Just like maybe his assistant. Like, he helps him do stuff.
How did they meet?
What happened first, the chicken or the egg? I have no idea. Like, what happened first? Did they meet naturally, or did they meet because they time traveled? They knew they had to meet.
Well, it would be natural for Marty, not for... I mean, for Doc. I mean...
It'd be natural. To me, it'd be natural.
Like, Marty would have been natural. For Doc, would have been like, oh, I met you in the 50s.
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to meet you.
And I needed you again. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to meet you.
Right.
Marty doesn't know.
Right. It's just weird.
Even if that is the case.
But how does like a 50-year-old man...
How does... Maybe
befriend a 17-year-old
for like an assistant. Yeah, I don't know. That's my... How do y'all get linked up together?
I know. I love that they don't answer that, I guess.
I like it a little bit too.
But it's like not a money exchange. It's just literally like, I'm just helping this old man do his weird shit. Because like, I don't think he's paying him.
He's hanging. I feel like I read it somewhere before.
What? Why they hang out?
How they got linked up.
Oh, that'd be great.
Continue.
Okay. So yes, Marty stops by to check in on Doc and his dog, Einstein, but they're nowhere to be found. While he's hanging out and playing with Doc's large speaker, because Marty plays the guitar, he gets a call from Doc, and Doc is telling him he's asking him if he can meet him at the mall later that night at 1 a.m. It's very important. He's having a breakthrough with his work, and he needs Marty's assistant. And Morty, of course, is like, sure, Doc, I'll see you later tonight. And then Morty realizes that he's about to be late for school, and he takes off and he heads to school. He's a skateboarder in the 80s. I wonder if that was like unique.
Having a skateboard?
Just being a skateboarder in the 80s. I feel like skateboarding was really popular in the 90s. I don't know about the 80s. I don't know.
Maybe. According to Google. Emmett Doc Brown, when he was around 14... What Doc Brown? That's incorrect. Okay, so when Marty was around 14, he heard that Brown was a dangerous lunatic. Okay. Marty wanted to go and see, all it about for himself, and was like being nosy. Snuck into his lab, and then Doc was fascinated that someone was like interested in his work, and then their friendship formed after that.
That's cute. So, I buy it.
Yeah. Simple enough.
Oh, I see you like my work, eh? Okay. Already there. So Marty arrives at school, and but he is also late. So with the help of his girlfriend, Jennifer, they sneak in like through the back, but unfortunately they're caught by their principal, Mr. Starkland. He's very mean to Marty. He's very hard on him. He tells him
he's a slacker.
Yes,
just like his father. Your father was a slacker, and you're a slacker.
And his father was not a slacker. He was a nerd.
He was a nerd. Marty's a slacker.
Marty's a slacker.
His dad was not a slacker.
Not a slacker at all.
He just doesn't like the McFly family.
He doesn't like the McFly family for whatever reason. He's got a hard on for them.
He does.
But we learn that this is, Marty's fourth late notice. He doesn't like it. This principal doesn't like his dad. And we also learn that Marty will be trying out later to perform at the high school's dance.
His band will be trying out.
Yeah.
He's a musician. An aspiring one.
And
the principal, what's his name?
Strickland.
Mr. Strickland also tells him that he should give up on his dreams of being a musician because he's crap. He's just like up his ass. At that point, I'd have been like, do you want to make out with me or something? Because like clearly you're obsessed with me.
What the fuck, dude?
So,
Marty and his band, the Pinheads.
The Pinheads, that's what they're called?
That's what they're called.
He's an aspiring musician. He goes to his audition for this dance. He plays, traditional 1980s rock and roll music. Sounds pretty good if you ask me. Of course, they tell him no. They said, your music's just too loud.
Like, he plays like 5 chords. And they're like,
no.
They're like, shut that shit off.
Turn it off. So they reject him. They tell him no. His music's too loud. Jennifer is watching the whole thing. He goes to Jennifer. They begin walking. And he's like, all down and upset because it's just been rejected. And she tells him, you can't just give up on your dream just because you received one rejection. She's like, you're really good. You're really talented. And she tells him that he needs to send his music into a record label. And then he was like, look, I've already been rejected once. Like, what if they tell me I'm no good again? I can't handle that type of rejection. And then he's like, oh my God, I sound like my father.
Mm-hmm.
His father's a loser. We'll soon find out.
You know what I like is that...
I don't like it.
Which part? What was I going to say?
Are you going to say that Marty's cool and his dad's a loser?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say I like how he has a girlfriend already and I like Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
I like he's not like trying to get a girl. He just already has a girl.
I actually think I would have liked it better if he was pursuing a girl.
There's just too much going on.
Yeah, you're right. Like, where would we have, where would that fit it in?
Yeah.
Where would that fit
I just love
in?
right. I like how he's a love interest and they like each other and she's supportive and
yeah.
It's growing.
Honestly, in my opinion, I mean, in the second one, she's vital, but in this one, he really doesn't even need a girlfriend.
He doesn't. I guess
she really has no purpose.
I wonder when they were queuing up the first one, they were like, "This is going to be 3 parts."
Maybe.
But I mean, in my head, it sounds like they were barely getting a part 1.
Right, right, exactly.
So I wonder,
how did y'all know that y'all were going to make a part 2? Because the movie ends and transitions immediately into the second one. So it's like, how did y'all know that we were going to be making the second one here?
Right. I guess this is like, you know what? Like, we can't leave these people with a cliffhanger. Give us 2 more movies.
Yeah. Well, so she's like, you're great. He's like, oh, I sound like my father. Then, meanwhile, there's this like protest going on to save the freaking clock tower that's in like the middle of the town square.
Yeah.
It's like this big building. It's got this large clock tower. It's decrepit and no longer functioning. And this lady comes up to Marty and she's like, help save the clock tower.
Amen.
And she's like, in 1955, a hurricane came and struck that clock tower. And the current mayor, what's the mayor's name? Do we know?
I don't know. I only know the one who's running for mayor.
What's his name?
Oh, Goldie?
Yeah, he's running for re-election.
Oh, he's running for re-election.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, Goldie Wilson.
Goldie Wilson wants to turn down the clock tower, but we're trying to preserve it.
He's trying to tear down?
Just as it is in its current glory. Yeah, he wants to build something new. Because it's a decrepit building.
Well, I don't blame him. It's been 30 years.
I mean, yeah, it's just sitting there.
Yeah,
now,
like
I can understand if you're like, okay, let's rebuild the clock tower.
It's been 5 years.
She's like, let's keep it as it is. What? The broken clock?
Yeah.
It's been how many years?
It's been 30 years.
Exactly.
I mean, we can like take the clock and like put in a plaque or something and like, in the new building, this is the old clock. But it's been 30 years, lady.
So he gives the lady a quarter. And he's like, get out of here.
What is that? What is that, like $5? Like,
yeah, that's probably like $4.
I'm like, sir, this is not enough.
I mean, it's enough for her.
It's enough for her.
So he gives the lady a quarter. She gets out. She scrams. And then, I don't know, they start making out or something, him and Jennifer.
They start kissing.
She's basically asking him, like, hey, did you tell your mom? They're getting away. They're going away.
They're going to a cabin this weekend.
Yeah, and she's like, hey, did you tell your mom? And he's like, no, I didn't tell my mom.
You know how she is.
She's old school. She's traditional. She doesn't like the idea of you coming up with me, being alone in a cabin in the woods. Like, she's old school. And then she's like, okay, whatever, fine. And I don't know, her dad comes to pick her up and they like make out in front of her dad, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, let's look. Yeah, let's make out. But before she leaves, she's like, I'm not going to be by my house. I'm going to be at my grandmother's. I'm going to give you their phone number. She writes on the back of the flyer for the thing.
With
she
the
said,
clock tower. She
says,
writes it on the back of
her phone number, and she says, I love you.
Yeah.
On the back of the clock tower. They'll come to play later.
Yeah, the flyer has the information about the clock tower.
Yes.
And what happened to it back in 1955 and why we need to restore it and yada, yada, yada.
Yes. So Marty's skateboard, well, I guess they knew they were going to do another movie because originally you said Jan was up for 2 contract.
Oh.
So maybe they did know they were going to do multiple movies.
That's true.
So maybe they didn't think they were going to do a third one. It is kind of random.
Yeah. Probably not.
So Marty skateboards home. And when he arrives to his house, he sees that his dad's car, his family's car, is being towed away. No, it's getting towed into their driveway. It's all beat up.
It was totaled.
Yeah, it was totaled. He walks inside, and for the first time, we meet Marty's pussy of a father, George.
McFly.
And he's currently being yelled at by his supervisor, Biff. Apparently George let Biff use his car. But apparently George did not tell Biff that this car has a quote-unquote blind spot.
Don't all cars have a blind spot?
That's for fucking sure. And because of that, Biff crashed the car, and it's George's fault because he didn't tell Biff about this quote-unquote blind spot.
And, George being, the pussy that he is, he's like, well, George, Biff, all cars have a blind spot. But I assume your insurance is going to cover it. And then Biff is like, my insurance cover it. Your insurance needs to cover it. Then he's like, who's going to cover this stain that I have on my jacket? I spilled coffee on myself. You need to cover that. And then George is like, okay, well, I'll see what I can do, Biff. All right. What's wrong with him?
After you told me that thing with the actor, it makes so much sense. Because I came in, when I was like, I don't remember his dad being this annoying.
Yeah.
I don't even feel sorry for him because he's so weird.
Yeah. It's like he does the nerdy good, but it's not in a sympathetic good.
It's I'm trying to be cool. Yeah.
It's like what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Why are you so weird?
He's off.
Not reading sympathetic. But Marty is watching all of this, and he's like, ugh, my dad's pathetic.
I'm surprised he can look his dad in the face.
Right. And then after, the whole car conversation, then Biff asks him, do you have my reports? And then George is like, well, I didn't finish it yet. It's only Friday. I figured since it's due on Monday. And he's like, hello? If it's due on Monday, don't you think I need time to rewrite it in my own writing? If I go into work and give your reports with your writing, what do you think's going to happen to me? I'm going to get fired. Do you want me to get fired?
Oh, he says as an adult? I don't think I noticed that. Okay.
He does. I didn't notice until I watched it the second time.
Okay.
So he's like, if I show up and turn in my reports with your handwriting, what do you think's gonna happen? I'll get fired. And then he's like, do you want me to get fired, George? And he's like, oh, well, no, Biff. And he's like, okay then. I'll be back on Sunday. Give me my reports. He runs into Marty and he's like, what are you looking at, butt face? And he's like, say hi to your mom for me. And he leaves.
He wants his mom so bad.
Yeah. He's always had the hots for Lorraine,
yes.
I guess.
So, after watching his father be belittled.
In his own home.
Yes. Cut to, they're at dinner, the whole family. So, it's Marty, his dad, his mom, who's an alcoholic, and his two siblings. His older brother, who works at some fast food restaurant, I'm assuming. And his older sister, who is a little dorky. She wants guys, but guys don't want her. No one's successful. Everyone's struggling. It's a sad family.
Yeah, it is. They're a little pitiful.
The mom's an alcoholic. You know what? I don't understand. I hate that they keep putting prosthetics on the mom to make her look older.
Yeah.
Why do they keep doing it? They don't do this to the dad.
They don't?
I don't think so, no. They just make him look younger.
Yeah.
The mom always had these super prosthetic on.
Always had wrinkles.
And even, especially in the future one, I'm like, what is this? Feels like a little sexist. I don't know.
I don't know. I know when he comes back and they're successful now. I feel like he does have it on though.
The dad?
His hair's gray. I feel like he does have something on. Then he doesn't. When he's a loser dad, he doesn't have anything on.
That mom always got some on.
But she does always have something.
But at dinner, somehow they get on the topic of how Lorraine, the mom, and George met, and she was saying how her dad hit George with his car because he was, I don't know, what were you doing? Bird watching? He ignores this comment. And then they talk about how they had their first kiss, which was at the dance and when they were younger. And
it was fake. She said if her dad hadn't run him over with the car, she wouldn't have gone to the dance with him. If she hadn't gone on the dance with him, she wouldn't have kissed him on the dance floor. And she wouldn't have known that she was going to spend the rest of her life with him. And it's like she's telling the story and she's like really reminiscent. She's like I wish I could go back to those days, but like living in a miserable life right now.
I can't tell
like overweight
if she still loves him.
I think she does.
Does he? But he's not. I just can't. I can't get their dynamic.
Yeah, and that's. I think that's where it comes in as him not doing the nerd, right?
Yeah,
like he's
off in La La Land.
Yeah,
he's just like he's just like
socially not there.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Yeah, because I'm just like, even her telling the story, I'm like, what is she seeing him? Like, what did she see?
What did she see?
Like, what did she see in him?
And because she was kind of popular.
Yeah.
He was very nerdy. And I feel like he's doing it wrong. And I just feel like he's doing it wrong because I feel like there are attributes, like, you could be a nerd and be a good person, but he's weird and he makes me uncomfortable and I don't like him.
I think he just has an uncomfortable presence as a human being. Like, even in Charlie's Angels, he makes me very uncomfortable.
Oh my God. That was so perfect. I forgot he was in Charlie's Angels. That was perfect for him.
Yeah.
He was like this. That's his dream role was made for me. They're like, and pull. He probably came up with the whole hair pulling thing.
I should pull these chicks' hair.
And sniff it.
And
they're like, oh okay.
Like, okay. Sure.
They were like, yeah, that was Johnny's idea.
That's what you feel.
Right.
So they're at the dinner table. She's telling them how they met. And she's like reminiscent on the old days and kind of low-key hating her current life.
Yes. So dinner's over. Morty's in his room. Marty. Sorry. I'm like Rick and Morty.
Did we mention that he got a call from Doc?
I was about to say. Oh, yeah, earlier. Okay. Yeah. So after dinner, Marty is laying in bed. He's napping, but he's awoken by Doc calling him and saying, hey, you didn't forget, did you? He's like, no, I didn't forget. And then Doc is like, okay, come over before you meet me at the mall. Can you please pick up my video camera? And cut to, we see that Morty has arrived at Marty. You don't watch Rick and Morty, so you don't understand.
Whatever.
Rick and Morty. Marty arrives at the mall. He sees Doc get out of some van. Inside the van is what do you call it? A modified DeLorean. A DeLorean. Yeah. It's a DeLorean. And then Doc reveals. Well, then Morty starts recording. Doc is like, let's put Einstein the dog into the car. He puts like a stopwatch on him and he remote controls the car. And then he starts off the car and has the DeLorean with the dog inside of it start driving at 88 miles per hour. It's very specific. Marty's like, what the fuck is going on? The car's coming directly at them. Doc is...
Oh, yeah, the car... the car... Has he explained anything yet?
No, he hasn't told him really anything. He hasn't really told him what's going on.
So, Marty's standing there next to Doc with the camcorder.
Confused.
The dog is in the DeLorean in a car going 88 miles per hour in their direction, heading towards them. Marty's about to jump out the way. He's like, we're about to die. And then Doc pulls him back.
Watch this.
He pulls him back in front of the car. He's like, watch this. And then, like, seconds, that would have me weak. I jumped out and he pulled him back and he said, watch this, bro.
There were so many parts that I bust out laughing. And I was like, why is this so funny? And it was like, Doc is hilarious. He's like, nah, stay right here.
He's like, nah, you're not going nowhere, son. So he pulls him back and instantly, like, right before the car, with the dog in it, is about to hit them, it disappears. And the ground is left like on fire.
Right.
And Marty's like, what the hell? You just blew the dog away to bits.
Doc!
And Marty is like, what did you just do? And then Doc is like, calm down.
Calm down, Marty.
Fine, okay?
It all worked.
And he's like, it went exactly according to plan. And I don't know. Does he tell him what happens?
So, once Einstein reappears in the car, Doc reveals that he built a time machine out of the modified DeLorean because if we're going to time travel, we might as well time travel in style. So he tells them that he kind of gives them a breakthrough. He sent the dog back into the future.
I don't even remember.
He sends the dog into the future 1 minute ahead of them. Like,
I literally have no idea. I was relying on you
He sends the dog to reappear in 1 minute. So the dog was only gone for a minute because he reappears in a minute. Whatever. Back to the Future.
You get it.
You get it. So we learned that in order to get the DeLorean to time travel, we need plutonium. And Doc tells Marty that he swindled it basically from the Libyan terrorists who wanted to
they wanted to build a bomb. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll build you this bomb.
He's like,
he snags it from him and he like builds them like a fake bomb.
Which I think is hilarious. He's like, one man from myself. He's like, I don't care about terrorists. I don't care about what you're trying to terrorize.
I don't care about terrorism. I'm not going to build it, but I don't mind working with them.
So
for my own personal gain.
Yes. And so now we all learn that Einstein, the dog, is the first ever time traveler. And after seeing all this and realizing all this, Marty is very shocked. He's very confused. And he just got to come to terms with what he sees.
And then Doc is basically like, I'm going to time travel into the future. I'm going to go like 20 years into the future. 25 years into the future. It's going to be cool. It's going to be great. I'm going to be the first human to ever do it. This is what I've done. Right. And then Marty's like, all right.
Right. So
he's like, hey, when you get to the future, look me up. He's like, I will.
So Doc has packed up his car. He's put a suitcase in there. Right before he's about to leave and like time travel, he's like, oh, I almost forgot to bring some extra plutonium with me, because in only one time travel takes one case of plutonium. If he gets there, he won't be able to get back. He says that he's about to get in the car, but boom.
The Libyans have arrived!
They have arrived.
He sees a van.
He says, oh no, they found me.
Oh God, they found me. I don't know how, but they found me. And then Marty's like, who? He's like, who do you think? The Libyans!
You think, you freaking idiot.
You freaking idiot.
That would explain why he didn't go home.
Why who didn't go home?
Doc. He hasn't been home for a couple days.
Oh, because he's been hiding from the Libyans?
Yes.
That would
explain. Maybe so. It's like, I'm not going home because I can't right now.
So the Libyans pulling up, obviously they're pissed because they stole the petroleum. But he stole the plutonium?
Plutonium, yeah.
Whatever, the P word. The nuclear bomb thing.
Plutonium.
From them. And he ripped them off. So obviously they're pissed. And they're terrorists. So they come in guns a-blazing, literally. And they start shooting. Pow, 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 pow. I think this was a little racist. Because also, I don't know. And then I also feel like the guy who was like the main shooter, something in me tells me that he is not Libyan. He's not Middle Eastern. I feel like he's Latin American.
He's in brownface.
You think that person is in brownface?
I'm just guessing. I didn't really.
I think he's a real brown person. Okay. I just don't think he's that type of brown person.
Oh, no, for sure.
I think he's like Spanish.
I wonder what was going on in Lebanon at the time. They were like, and this is a terrorist.
I don't even know.
But yes, they gunned down Doc. It's actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
Marty sees all this. He's like, Doc!
He's like, you son of a bitch. Then, of course, they about to start shooting at him.
Right.
Witness.
Pow,
pow, pow. They got to start shooting at Marty. Luckily, I don't know, he runs out of ammo, the Libyan.
He's about to, I think it's gun jams.
Oh, his gun jams.
Happens.
As he's about to shoot Marty. This is his moment to escape. Marty hops in the DeLorean.
Yes.
The time machine.
The time machine.
Where's the dog?
The dog is in the van.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the dog's in the van.
So, he hops
Where's
into the
the
time
dog?
machine.
What are you, white woman?
Where's the dog?
What's the dog?
Through all of this. So, he hops into the DeLorean, pumps on the gas. He's trying to outrun them. They're in a van with guns. He's like, I'm in a DeLorean. I'm going to outdrive them. Let's see if they can... He's like, let's see if they can hit 80 or something
right.
like that.
They're like a van. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess the van can't hit 80.
88.
So he's speeding down the road. Why was the time machine set to 1955?
So Doc is... So after what's the dog's name?
Okay.
Epstein? No.
Max? I don't know.
No, it's Epstein. No.
Einstein.
After Einstein finishes,
Epstein.
I know I can't get that. After Einstein does his time travel, he shows Marty the car. He's like, okay, so this thing says where you want to go, where you are, and where you've been. And he's like, you could go to so and so when the Declaration of Independence was written. You can go when that was written, or you can go to this day where I came up with the idea of time travel. So he types that in, which is November something, 1955. So that's the last time that was entered in there. That's not where he wanted to go, but that was the last thing he put in there.
Put in a random date.
He put it. It was a day. He was just like, all these important dates, and he was like, an important date was the day I invented time travel.
So I thought about inventing time travel.
No, he didn't. Well, he came up with the idea. He hit his head. He tells Marty he hit his head. He woke up and he had the image of the little mechanism
non-molecular stabilizer.
No, I think that is it.
No, it's not.
It's not the
molecular stabilizer.
It's something stabilizer.
It's not because I can't stand when movies come up with words like that are just.
Is that
the molecular stabilizer?
Jade, I feel like
the quantum vortex.
I feel like that is.
It's not in the
time machine. The home energy reactor?
No.
The machine's flex capacitor.
The flex capacitor. I can't stand when movies use words like that. The molecular stabilizer and the flux capacitor.
What do you want to call it? The thingamabob?
Yeah.
The thingamabob. I call this the thingamabob.
And the nuclear molecular jigaboo. I can't stand it.
It's so funny because in Rick and Morty, they always have these scenes where, not always, but Morty is like, "Oh, what's wrong with the car? Is it the molecular stabilizer?" And, and Rick is like, "Oh yeah, only halfway right. Stop making up fucking words, you idiot."
Stop making up science words that you've seen from movies.
Yeah.
So
that's why he set that time. Because he was just thinking of important events and he thought about the time where he, invented this. So that's typed in. Marty's is in the DeLorean. He's he's trying to outrun the Libyans on accident. Well, not on accident. He reaches 88 miles per hour.
It wasn't an accident.
Well, he's going fast, but I don't think he
didn't realize.
Yeah, he didn't realize that because but
if you hit 88, you turn.
Yeah.
The car turns into a time machine if you hit 88.
With the petroleum in it, because Doc had plutonium in it, because Doc had really just redid it because he was about to go.
Put in the plutonium because he was about to go.
Right.
Head out.
Not before he put in extras, unfortunately. But he hits 88. Time travel.
Gone. He's gone.
He's gone, baby.
He done darted out of
He's not here.
Steamtown Mall, JCPenney's parking lot in 1985, and now he in some outback barn.
Now it's November 5th, 1955. Marty rides in the field. He crashes into a barn, and he is confused.
And he's like, whoa.
Well.
What happened? Where am I? Before he can even realize he crashed into a barn.
Yeah.
The barn owners come out and they're like, what's that noise? It's a whole family. A whole country hick family comes out. They see Marty. He's in what appears to them in 1955. The DeLorean doesn't look like a car. It looks like a spaceship.
Yep, right.
And he's in yellow garb. He has a mask on. He looks like an alien in a UFO.
Alien. Right.
Dad's like, go get the gun.
E.T. must go home.
The farmers are like, we gotta get the gun. We gotta shoot this guy. He's an alien.
He's gotta die. I don't know what else to do but kill.
So Marty's gotta hurry up and make a run for it. They're shooting at him. He drives off in the DeLorean and he makes a run for it.
Yeah. He heads home because he hasn't come to grips what's going on. So he heads home to what should be his home, but he arrives to an undeveloped subdivision. So his home, this is the beginning, stage 1 of his home being built. Nothing's there.
There's nothing there. It's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
Like Lake Vista.
Yes, coming soon. So
year 1957.
So at this point, he's realizing he's in the year 1955. The DeLorean is not working. There's no petroleum. He can't go back in time. I think it might have broken down. I don't know. Yeah. So he's fucked. He hides the DeLorean behind a coming soon sign.
Behind a billboard.
Yes, because people see the car and they're freaking out. What is? Because the cars, they look like 1955 cars.
So he hides the DeLorean, the time machine, behind a billboard, puts some bushes over it, and he starts making a trek into the town. What's the town that they live in? What is it called? Park Place? No.
The small town. You know what's so funny? Every Is it every movie takes place in this town? Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. What?
Hill Valley.
He makes his way to Hill Valley. It's only 2 miles away, not that far of a walk. So he's walking. He gets to the Times Square main center area, whatever. And it's given real 1950s.
It's giving 1955.
He goes into this diner. He's dressed, as a young boy in 1985. He has on a puffer jacket.
Yeah.
Sleeveless puffer jacket, a flannel shirt, and some jeans. And he goes into the diner, and the chef owner, I don't know, the diner is like, why do you have on a life jacket?
Why do you have on a life jacket?
And he's like, Marty's just like, I just want to make a phone call.
If I was him, I'd be like, I'm European. Everything someone would ask me, I'm like, I am European. I'm European. I'm European.
Oh, that's true.
And I think that would have helped. Like, I don't know what they're doing in Europe, but
that would have gotten him some places. Yeah.
On advance.
So he goes to the phone booth. He looks up Doc in the newspaper. He's alive. He gets his ass dressed.
The newspaper, the phone book.
The phone book. That's what I meant. He looks up Doc in the phone book. He's alive and well. He takes the phone book page and he saves it. He goes to the diner. He talks to the guy. He's like, hey, do you know where so-and-so? And the guy's like, are you going to order something, kid?
Whoa.
All right.
Calm down.
Sure.
That's okay. I didn't know you were the freaking owner of this place and you needed the money.
We were really pressed for a nickel and dime.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a coffee. So he sits down. He's looking at the paper. He turns to the left of him. And what does he find?
Father.
A young version of his father, George McFly.
It's so funny. They don't he's just the same guy. I just don't know why they did that to the mom. Because she's an alcoholic, they want her to look bad.
I don't really think about it, but
it's just like why? It's just like why? They do nothing to the dad. It's the same person, just in different clothes. But the mom,
are you sure they don't do anything to that? Maybe they do.
No, look at him.
Maybe we just weren't paying attention.
They just put him in different clothes. They put a beard on him.
Yeah.
Look at what they did to the mom. They put a face over her face. Even Biff looks crazy. They put something on Biff.
Yeah, they put something on Biff.
But the mom, whatever they do to mom, it kind of looks normal on Biff. But then mom's makeup,
it does look normal on Biff.
It looks terrible. No. I don't know if there's anything on that daddy. I don't think there's anything on that daddy.
I think they gave him like a 5 o'clock shadow.
That's just all you need.
They gave him a little something. I mean, they didn't do what they did to her and Biff. But they did do him a little something.
Very little. They gave him a 5 o'clock shadow. He grew a 5 o'clock shadow for this scene. They told him not to shave that thing.
Look, they changed his hair color a little bit at the roots.
That is subtle. That's perfect. What they did to that mama before and after. I'm like, damn. Hey, woman. Ooh, where the fuck were we?
The diner.
Oh, yes. So he sees his dad. At this point, not only does he see teenage dad, he sees teenage Biff. Comes into the
diner and yells, McFly! And they both turn around.
Right.
I thought that was cute.
It was cute.
And Marty thinks he's about to come up on him, but of course he goes to George. And he's like,
the whole thing again.
McFly, where is my homework? And then George is like, well, Biff, since it's not due till Monday, I thought that I, would wait a while. And he said, hello! If it's due on Monday and today's Friday, I need time to recopy. What do you think what will happen if I turn in my homework in your handwriting? I'll get expelled. Do you want that to happen, McFly? No, Biff. I didn't think so.
It sounds like he has multiple options to get rid of this guy.
What do you mean? Oh,
turn in the paper. Don't give it to him. Turn in the paper. Give him a crappy paper.
Yeah,
fail him.
That's true.
Just anything.
So, history
repeats itself. It's been going on for so long.
Some things just don't change.
Right. Ever hear George is so sad? He makes me uncomfortable. But yes, Marty. So Biff leaves. Marty is staring at George with confusion.
Witnessing this entire encounter.
Terrified. At this point, a fellow worker of the diner comes up to George. His name happens to be Goldie. And he's like, why are you letting people talk to you like that? I would never. I'm going to have a future. I'm taking night classes, and one day I'm going to be somebody.
And Marty's like, he's right. He's going to be mayor. He's like, oh, mayor. I like the sound of that. That's right. I'm going to be mayor.
I love that.
I'm going to run for mayor one day.
I don't know.
And then the owner of the diner, he's like, a Negro for a mayor? Yeah, that'll be the day. And he's like, you wait and see, Mr. Carruthers. I just made that name up.
Right.
But I will be mayor. You bet your tail I will be.
Silver dollar.
And he's like, and I'm going to clean up this city. You watch. You wait and see. And he's like, okay, start by cleaning up the diner.
I love that part. I don't know why. I just love that.
I love that part.
I love that Goldie's like, I'm going to be something. And he's like, you're going to be mayor. And he's like, yeah, I like the idea of that.
I like the sound of that.
Do you think he would have still been mayor if Marty never put it in his head to be mayor?
No.
Where does the time start?
Right. It all happened because Marty came to the diner. Yep. Who knows? Yeah.
It makes my head hurt. Because
you can't divulge.
You know, and Rick and Morty teaches you that there's alternate universes. So there's a universe where he became mayor, and there's a universe where he didn't become mayor. There's a universe where he becomes a ballerina. There's a universe where he marries a beautiful woman, has cancer, and dies. But in this, but he doesn't fool with time travel, which I understand. It's confusing.
Who doesn't fool with time travel?
Rick. He doesn't fool with time travel.
Oh. That makes sense.
They just have multiple universes. So they meet each other. He meets other Ricks from multiple universes because he can travel between universes, but there is no time travel.
Oh.
He doesn't do that. It's a hack job. He doesn't believe in time travel. He doesn't touch that honky shit.
Right, I see.
It's confusing because when you think about it, it does not make sense.
It does not.
Okay.
So, la 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 la.
While that's going on, Marty's listening to everything. He's enamored. At this point, George has taken off. He's on his way. He's biking out of there. Marty walks out. He's like, "Hey, Dad! George! Wait up a second.
Got on the bike. Hold on." So
he follows him. So Marty's chasing after. He doesn't see him, but he sees George's bike. He looks up and he finds George in a tree. He's like, what the fuck is he doing? He's got binoculars. He's on a ledge and he's staring into a window watching a woman undress. And Marty comes to the realization, oh my God, he's a peeping Tom. This is when I really don't like him. Right. Because at this point, he's a serial killer to me. He's murdered women that we don't know about, and that's why he's so weird. He's a murderer.
That's fair.
Because peeping Toms, it's just a gateway.
Yeah.
It's a gateway rape tactic. It just
poor Lorraine. She thought he was bird watching the whole time.
I wonder if she really thought that, or did she? No, she. If that's what she tells the kids.
I think she probably thought that.
What?
I doubt. I think she thinks that he was bird watching.
She was like, "What is it?" What she said? She's like, "What were you doing? Bird watching?" I can't tell. I don't know. Lorraine's a little fast. She
is a little slutty.
She be up to something. She not.
I mean, for the 50s.
Right.
Not for like present day.
Right.
For the 50s.
Yeah.
So he's in the tree, being a peeping Tom, watching Lorraine get undressed, his future wife, from her bedroom window. Marty watches him, gets his attention or something. No, he just falls.
Yeah, he falls.
He's so nerdy and clumsy and a klutz, he just randomly falls out of the tree. Falls out of the tree. There's oncoming traffic. There's a car coming down the street. He's in the middle of the road. And just when he is about to get hit by this car, Marty pushes him out of the way. And Marty gets hit.
Hits his head on the pavement. I don't like it.
So then the driver of the vehicle comes out. He sees George. He sees Marty. George gets up. He asks him, "Hey, who are you?" George doesn't answer. He just gets up and he runs off. He goes to Marty and he's like, God damn it. He calls his wife.
Yeah, because Marty's unconscious. He's knocked out.
He's knocked out. Out for the count. He calls his wife. He's like, God damn it, Lois. These shitting-ass kids hopped in front of my car again. Come help me bring them inside.
Which is very nice. They're like, let's just take care of them. Because I'm like, the ambulance.
I mean, yeah, you hit him with the car. Yeah, bring him inside.
Or, I don't know. I just call the ambulance. I'm just hugging over him until the ambulance comes.
I guess.
The thought was like, let's bring him inside and take care of him. He was always about to live with them for a second.
He was. So, they bring Marty inside. He is unconscious until he's no longer unconscious and wakes up. And
9 hours later.
9 hours later. Holy Shit.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
So at this point, he wakes up. He hears his mom talking, and he's like, "Oh, Mom, I had the worst dream. I dreamed that I went back to the back in time, and it was 1955, and." The lights come on. He sees a young Lorraine, and Lorraine's like, "It is 1955," and he's like, "Oh shit!"
And he's like, "What?" And then he looks at his mom. He's a little confused. I feel like he almost says like, "You're hot." I feel like he's like, "You're hot.
You're good looking.
Thin,
right? You look good. I mean, she looks good.
She does.
She's cool. You don't think she's beautiful? She's very 1950s beautiful. I don't think there are too many people in the 19. Like I think she's gorgeous.
I wouldn't say she doesn't do anything for me.
She's like picturesque.
I mean, she does look 1950s, but I think it's just the hairdo.
I think she looks 1950s beautiful. Like sometimes when I look at like old photos, I can't tell if this person is pretty or not. But if someone took a photo of her, I'd be like, "Oh, she's pretty." Like I can only tell 1950s handsome, like hot guys. I can't tell 1950s beautiful. I'm just like, can I see this in color? Or do you have that option?
I don't know. She just like doesn't. To each its own. Hey,
at prom, you didn't see her in a little dress. I'm like, okay.
She just looks like a girl whose hair was done.
I think she's so cute. But yes. So
she's like, it is 1955. He almost calls his mom hot, but instead he calls her thin. She's like, you've been asleep for 9 hours,
womp womp.
Calvin. And he's like, why are you calling me Calvin? And then she's like, it's written all over your underwear, Calvin Klein. And he's like, oh. No, my name's Marty.
What year did Calvin Klein start?
I don't know. Right. Probably wasn't mainstream in the 50s.
Let's see. What is 1968? It was founded in 1968 with $10,000.
Wow. Not for at least another.
It was a
10 plus years.
Right. It was a coat shop in the York Hotel in New York City. New York City.
New York City.
You're the coldest bastard in New York City. They're having only one more season left. They're having one final season of What We Do in the Shadows.
I haven't really been watching,
so good.
I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, that show is funny.
And you're the coldest motherfucker in New York City.
I don't have time for your cheap sex potions.
Hilarious. He's my favorite.
He is so funny. Ooh. Oh gosh.
Okay. So yes, Marty has woken up. Lorraine thinks his name is Calvin Klein by the underwear he's wearing. Of course, we know that it's a popular underwear brand. And at this point, we can tell that Lorraine is very much into Marty. She's attracted to him. She's coming on to him. Mind you, if you remember from the beginning, this is supposed to be George. George got hit by Lorraine's car. Lorraine's dad's car. He was supposed to wake up in the bed. Lorraine's supposed to come on to George and then have sex and then have kids and then have a future. But no. Marty pushed George out of the way. So now Marty is in George's place. He's fucked up the timeline. Has
now, without even knowing, jeopardized his own very existence.
Yes. Don't fuck with the timeline. First rule of time travel. Don't fuck with the time. Don't fuck with the timeline. Let shit happen.
So, his mom, this is his mom, is coming on to him. They go downstairs for dinner. He's now essentially meeting his grandparents.
His grandparents and his aunts and uncles. One of them being Uncle Joey, who present day is in jail. He's always in jail.
And he's a little baby. And
baby.
In his little baby carriage?
Crib?
His baby crib. And he Marty goes down to him and he's like, oh, you're Uncle Joey. You better get used to these bars, so kid. I was like, oh, that's so dark.
It is dark. But then
it's a baby.
It's a baby. And the mom is like, every time we take him out the crib, he cries. He just likes to sit in there.
So we just leave him in there.
He's projecting.
Right.
You think babies know their future? Like, he's like, I belong here.
He's like, I belong in this cage. So they sit down for dinner. They wheel out the 1955 TV. Marty, is, being very strange to them because he's saying, oh, we have 2 TVs in my house. In 1955, 2 TVs is unheard of.
Right. Crazy. We just got this one, dude.
Right. He's talking about the episode that they're watching. He's like, it's a rerun. The little brother's like, what's a rerun? And he's like, you'll find out later. And then the mom is like, well, Marty, you look so familiar. Do I know your parents? Have I met your mom? And then Marty's like, oh, yeah, you probably have. And then she's like, well, I'd like to call her. And he's like, you can't call her. They're out of town. No one's home. And then Lorraine's like, well, don't you think, Mom, we should have him, like, sleep over? Dad did hit him with a car. He should spend the night. And then Lorraine's mother is basically like, oh, you got a point there, Lorraine. You know, Marty, you kind of are our responsibility. While she's saying this, Lorraine, like, touches his thigh.
Does she?
Yeah, she, like, grabs his thigh. And he's like, oh, God. And
she's into him.
Right before he makes a run for it, he asks them, like, hey, do y'all know where 163 Fairwood Lane is? That's Doc's house.
Yes.
And the dad is like, yeah, that's at the other end of town, at the end of Maple. And then Marty's like, the other end of town? The other end of town is John F. Kennedy. And then the dad's like, who in the hell is John F. Kennedy? And then Marty's like, oh, okay, it's time for me to go.
Time for me to go.
It's time for me to go. I'm telling on myself.
Right.
Gotta make a run for it. And so he says his goodbyes. He's like, y'all have been very helpful.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
So Marty goes to Doc's house. He arrives at his home, and we see the 1955 version of Doc, who is even more unhinged than his future version.
You think so?
I think so. He's a little more to me. So Marty rings the doorbell. Doc answers it, opens it, closes it, opens it again. He's got this machine on his head. He pulls Marty into the room, and he's like, don't tell me anything. Don't talk. Don't say anything. You're here because you want me to sign up. And Marty's like, what? I'm back. No. You're here because you want money from the future. So he's basically trying to read.
Like, you're here to, like, sign me up for a magazine subscription.
Don't say anything.
And he's like, no,
what?
I'm here. He's like, you're here in the future. No, that's not it. So yeah, he's being really weird.
So Doc created this device that he wants to use to read people's mind. He's trying to use it on Marty. It's not working. Marty's like, I am back from the future. No, I time traveled because of a machine that you built, and I need you to help me get back to my current time period.
And then Doc's like, do you know what that means? And then Marty's like, what? He's like, this thing doesn't fucking work.
This thing doesn't fucking work.
Wasted all my effort.
Right. So Doc doesn't believe him. He's running around his house. He's being frantic. Yeah. And he's
trying to convince him. He's like, I'm from the future. And he's like, no, you're not. And then he was like, look at my driver's license. It says I was born in 19 blah, 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 70 or something like that. I have this picture here of my sister, my brother, and myself. Look at my sister's sweater. It says class of 1991. And then he's like, all of that could be photoshopped.
Right.
And then he's like, tell me, future boy, if you're from the future, who's the president? And he's like, Ronald Reagan. He's like, the actor? He's like, get out of here. Right. Who's the vice president? Jerry Lewis?
Ronald Reagan was an actor. I don't think I knew that.
I think he was.
Not familiar.
They put it in the movie.
Yeah, not familiar with his work.
He just doesn't believe him. He leaves the house, goes to his, like, I don't know, barn, shed, lab area. He goes in there, and then Marty tells him, he closes the door on Marty, and he's like, good night, future boy. I've had enough of your antics. He closes the door on Marty. Marty tells him, Doc, you gotta believe me. I know how you got that bump on your head, because while he's talking to Doc has, like, a bruise on his head, and like, a Band-Aid on it. And he's like, I know how you got that bruise on your head. You were, what was he doing?
He was sitting on the toilet or showering or something. He fell. And then you got the idea
to invent time travel.
You got the idea to invent the machine name that you don't like, the
DeLorean?
No.
Oh, molecular stabilizer?
Yeah, the molecular stabilizer.
No, that's not what it's called.
Damn it. I don't want to type it all over again.
The trans...
How was it? The flux capacitor.
So he tells him this story that only someone from the future who have known.
Yeah, because that just happened to him this morning.
Yeah.
This just happened to him. Because this is the day that he invented it. It's nighttime right now. He literally just came up with this idea.
Oh. So
no one would know this.
No one would know this information.
He barely knows this.
So Marty tells him that, and now he believes him.
Right.
Takes him inside. He's like, okay. Run me everything. Tell me everything. What's happening here? He gives him the lowdown.
Right. At first, Marty brings Doc to where he hit the car, and he shows him the car and everything, and he shows him the flux capacitor. He like, this is it. And the Doc is like so excited, and he's like, okay, let's bring the car back to my shop so we can work on it. In there, so back at the house, Marty shows Doc the videotape from earlier. So Doc can,
the video that Marty took in 1985.
Because Doc needs to know how he created this. He hasn't created it. So, he's trying to get some information out of this. So one thing that he does learn is that they need so and so megawatts of power to run this.
1.22 gigawatts.
Okay. And then Doc hears this. He's like, "Oh, okay. You're going to stay here. You're not going
1.22 gigawatts. 1.22 gigawatts." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Marty. You're stuck here.
I think
there's no way you're getting out of here. I'm so sorry."
That man is so funny.
He loses it after that.
And then Marty's like, no. We just need to get some.
All we need is a little bit of
plutonium.
And then he's like, maybe back, I'm sure in like 1985, you can get plutonium at any standard like gas station.
No.
But here in 1955, it's not that easy.
It's hard to come by, right?
And he's like, the only type of source that can produce that type of energy, 1.22 gigawatts, is a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he's like, unfortunately, no one knows when or where lightning will strike. So
that's true.
We're kind of shit out of luck. And then Marty's like, but I do know when. And I do know where. He pulls out the paper that he has in his pocket that his girlfriend Jennifer gave to him with her number on the back of it. And on the front of it, remember, was the flyer about the clock tower and how we wanted to restore it and how in November 4th, 1955, it was struck by lightning. And ever since then, it's been decrepit and it's never been restored. And now we have this flyer to restore it because the current mayor wants to take it down. And it's all on the flyer.
Yes.
So that's on the flyer.
So that happens in
the clock tower.
About a week.
1 week's time, Saturday.
And Marty's like, great. I can hang out in 1955 and chill out.
Like, yeah, I can do. And then Doc's like, okay, cool. Lightning will strike at this time, this exact moment. Okay, we've got something to work with. He's like, but you've got to stay here for at least a week. And Marty's like, okay, cool. I could do a week here in 1955. You can show me around, introduce me to some people. And Doc's like, no.
You can't leave
You cannot leave here. It is crucial that you do not interact with anybody. As if, or if you do, you could very well change the course of history and time.
You can alter your future, buddy.
And Marty's like, oh, okay.
And then Doc is like, did you talk to anyone before you came to my house?
And he's like, yeah, I just, run into my parents.
I ran to my parents.
And he's like, great.
And then Doc is like, let me see that photo that you showed me earlier of him and his siblings. In the photo, we see that his older brother's head is slowly fading away. So the brother is the firstborn. Not a good sign.
I don't know why the
firstborn. You think the last would go first.
I feel like it would have been Marty.
Right. I agree. And that, yeah. But I get, yeah. Because it doesn't make sense if the firstborn wasn't born, then the second wouldn't be born, and the third wouldn't be born. You would go backwards. But, teach his own.
Whatever.
To each, time travel's not real. And then, Doc and Morty realize his actions are altering his future and jeopardizing his own very future. So the next morning, in more appropriate 1955 clothing, Doc and Morty arrive at the local high school. Doc tells Morty that his parents need to meet and fall in love so that his and his siblings can be born. Because Lorraine was supposed to, tend to George instead of Marty, and they were supposed to fall in love and have kids. Marty. So they arrive at school, and Doc is like, okay, which one's your dad? And then we see George, once again, getting bullied by Biff and his gang. And Doc goes, oh, you must be adopted.
Maybe you're adopted.
Amen.
And poor George, someone put a kick me sign on the back of his back, so everybody started kicking him.
So, these are the 50s, so there was no hold bars on bullying. It was a free-for-all.
It really was. And then when you get bullied, you the one to blame. They blame you.
Girl.
So then The principal, the same principal who be giving Marty issues at the beginning of the film, is the same principal that George has to deal with. Mm-hmm. And he pulls George aside and calls him a slacker. Why is he a slacker? Because he's getting bullied. Girl. I don't know. But he calls him a slacker. And, I don't know, George goes on about his life.
Right.
Marty runs into George and is like, hey, George, it's me, Marty. George is like, why are you following me? And Marty's just like, hey, there's somebody who I really want you to introduce you to. It's my good friend. Come with me. So Marty and George walk down the hallway. They run into Lorraine. And then Marty's like, Lorraine, I want you to meet my friend. She turns around. She's not worried about George. Right. She sees Marty and she's like, oh my God, Kellen. And she's, smitten, struck, in love, whatever. The bell rings. She's got to go.
They serious about their bell. They're like, oh my God, we're late. They like running to
She darts off and she talks to her friends and she's like, isn't he a dreamboat? And I guess George leaves too when the bell rings.
Yeah. So since Marty knows that his parents shared their first kiss at the school dance, because there's like poster boards everywhere, he realizes that they need to go to the dance together. Doc tells them that they must attend the dance and fall in love and have kids.
I just want to point out.
What?
So Doc sees the whole transaction and tells Marty that his mom, and I don't know why he was acting like that was news to him. Because Doc tells Marty, your mom is not into George. She's into you.
Right.
And then he's like, are you telling me my mom has the hots for me? You couldn't tell when she was grabbing your thigh and asked you to sleep over? Why are you acting like this is brand new to you?
I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow.
So then he tells them, like, they need to go on a date. Mm-hmm. What do they have in common? Find their interests. They're your parents. Like, you should know. And he's like, I literally don't. And then he sees a sign for the dance. And Doc says, what does he say? Oh, he's like, there's a rhythmic ceremonial ritual happening on Saturday. Get them to go to this. And then Marty's like, the dance? He calls it a rhythmic ceremonial ritual.
Yep. He's like, God, I've heard of this.
I fell on the ground. I said, swear to God, not a rhythmic ceremonial ritual. So Doc convinces or tells Marty, okay, the dance is the ticket. Get your parents to go to the dance together, and that will start, their love affair. And then Marty's like, okay, I can do that. So next, we see Marty, and he's at George's house.
No. Lunch.
I was wrong.
Lunch.
Next, we see Marty, and he's at lunch in the cafeteria, and he goes up to George. He talks to George. He said, hey, George, how are you? And he's like, oh my God, you again. And he's like, hey, what's up? So they're talking. He asks him, what are you writing? He's writing, like, science fiction, yeah. Like fan novel. And then Marty's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you were creative like that. And then George is like, you don't know me. And then Marty's like, well, let me read some. And then George is like, oh no, I could never let anybody read my work. And he's like, I have this fear of rejection. I know that probably sounds weird. And then Marty's like, no, it doesn't sound weird at all.
This is where I get it from.
They relate because Marty has a fear of rejection with his music.
So much rejection, he won't even try. It's not good, guys. It's not good.
So Marty is like trying to convince him.
What's that? What was the quote from A Cinderella Story? Don't strike out. You step up to bat and you don't strike out.
I literally have no idea.
Cinderella Story. You know what I'm talking about, though?
The one that's like painted on the wall.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
The fear of striking out. Don't let the fear of striking out. That's all I got.
Keep you from playing the game.
Keep you from playing the game. Look at us. We found it. We got it together.
There we go.
My bonnet's in my face.
So Marty's like, hey, you need to ask out.
You're like saying
Marty
and Morty at the same. You're like,
That's okay. I'm fine with that. I will live. So Marty tells George that, hey, I spoke with Lorraine. She really wants you to ask her out to the dance, and I really think you should do that. And George is like, that's not the vibe I'm getting. I think she's going to take someone else to the dance. And Marty's like, who? He points, and off to the corner, we see Biff sexually harassing Lorraine for the umpteenth time.
He's like, you know you like it. And she's like, stop touching me. Get your meat claws off of me.
Someone stop him. He's like not even like touching her, then stopping, touching her, stopping. He's like over her.
Right. It's so awkward. Like it was just awkward.
It's
to
like
watch.
strong sexual assault.
So then Marty goes over. Of course, he sees his mother
Being attacked.
being sexually harassed. He has to.
Someone's got to do something.
So he pulls Biff by the shoulder and he says, "Hey, she said, get your meat paws off of her." And just when it's about to be a scuffle, a kerfuffle, they're about to fight, the principal walks in.
I love how every time he's about to fight Biff, they they always show like the height difference. They're like,
I mean, it's got to be Michael J. Fox is like 5'5".
Right, but he's not backing down.
He's not.
He's about that life.
He's not. So just when Biff is like about to hit Marty, really give it to him good, a knuckle sandwich.
What?
I don't know. It's a 50s term. So the principal walks in, sees Biff. Biff, backs up, and he's like, "Since you're new around here, I'm gonna let you off the hook this one time." But then he tells them, "Make like a tree and get out of here."
I remember in the second one that old Biff tells young Biff, "It's make like a tree and leave. You sound like an idiot.
It's to make like a tree and leave." He does all that. That's funny.
So after school, Marty follows George home. At this point, George is like, "Why do you keep following me? Leave me alone. What is going on?" And Marty is pressing again. "You need to take Lorraine to the dance. She really wants this to happen." And Marty's like, "Look, I'm not ready to do this. I'm not ready to ask her. It's not really my vibe. Also, the prom or the dance is the same night of my favorite sci-fi TV show. And there are no reruns, honey.
Right, I'll miss the episode.
I miss the episodes. No, I have no way of finding out. I don't have any friends. I don't have any internet. If I miss it,
that is so true. What
I'm
did
behind.
you do back in the day?
Hopefully you had friends that
That's
watched
why
it too.
I feel like in the 50s, like shows weren't like that important. That didn't make any sense. Like, you know how, like, okay, let's say today's age. If you were watching How to Get Away with Murder, and you missed, like, 2 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder, you'd be like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
But, like, the 1950s, like, the sitcoms, like, I Love Lucy, like, you wouldn't have completely missed the entire plot of I Love Lucy if you missed 2
It's got to be, like, The Office, where it's like, I know Pam and Jim and Pam are in love, but I don't need to follow thing by thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's like, I'll miss the episode of my favorite sci-fi show. I can't ask her. I'm not ready. And then
Marty gets like a ding in his head. He's like, your favorite sci-fi show, huh?
You don't say. So that night, Marty takes matters into his own hands. He sneaks into George's home. He dresses up in some type of alien garb.
Esque.
Wouldn't really startle anybody in 1985, but in 1955 it'll do the trick.
Right.
He puts like a headset over his ears, blasts loud rock music, which hasn't been invented yet in 1955, so it's a foreign noise to George.
They're still shimmying and shaking, honey.
He's in the middle of the night. He's sleeping. He's waken up by this large sounding rock music and this large man standing above him, and lo and behold, it's Marty, but he doesn't know that.
Right.
And he's like, "Silence, Earthlings," Marty says to George in the alien garb. And he's like, "If you don't do this, I'm going to suck all your brains out." Basically threatening him to ask Lorraine out. And it works.
It works.
Because the next day, George wakes up. He goes and finds Marty. And he's like, "Hey, Marty, I got to ask Lorraine out."
I need to
help, and then Marty's like, "Oh, what help? Why the change of heart?" And he's like, "An alien told me he's gonna suck my brains if I do." It
was actually Darth Vader. That's who the person was supposed to be.
That's not what he says, huh? It was like, no, it was Valor or something. It was like Voltron.
I think it was Darth Vader.
It wasn't Darth Vader.
Like, I know, and you're like, I don't think it was.
It
was.
Oh my goodness.
Fast forward it.
I was already right about the picture of Michael J. Fox. Do you want me to prove you?
Yes.
Wrong again. I'll do it. I'll be the bad guy. I have no problem.
Okay. Darth Vader. That's a perfect Jordan.
Damn it! Damn it!
So if you haven't heard, it was in fact Darth Vader.
I thought the place where he was, that's where he said Volcon. I thought it was Dark Volcon.
You're right.
That's where he's from.
Okay.
I hate being wrong.
It's okay. I love being right. So we're even. We're even. We're even the score. So yes.
And I am keeping score.
So yes. George goes to Marty. I need your help. I need to ask Lorraine out. Marty's like, okay, I got it. Tell her that
you're her destiny.
Her destiny.
And she's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
And George is writing it down. He's like, this is great stuff. And then Marty's like, okay, go in there. So he goes in there. He goes into the diner where Lorraine's sitting with all her friends, looking, as Jordan would say, beautiful and stunning.
She's adorable.
So he goes up to her and he's like, Lorraine, he says, like, I popped into your head.
He's saying he's messing up. He's mucking up the words. He's not saying English. He's like, I did destined my.
He's like, I'm your density. And then she's like, what? And he's like, I mean. And she's like, don't I know you? And he's like, yeah, I'm George McFly. Your density. I mean, your destiny.
I cannot say him.
She's like,
oh. Okay, so luckily Biff comes and ruins this because I wanted someone to end this.
Luckily Biff comes in.
Thank God.
To break the awkwardness.
Right. So Biff shows up. He's about to do his whole thing that
he
always
McFly!
does.
Didn't I tell you to never come back in here? Marty's sitting at the diner witnessing all of it, of course.
Trips him.
Yeah, he trips Biff because Biff's getting in the way of his plans. Hello,
my future
I'm trying
honey.
to set my parents up together, and you're coming in here trying to harass my dad.
Right.
So Marty trips him. Of course, Biff is pissed. He's like, okay, strike one, I let you go. Marty, Calvin Klein. This is strike two. I'm about to, beat your ass.
Right.
Marty tells Biff, hey, Biff, what's that over there? He sneaks him. Sneaks him in the face.
That's what you got to do when you're short.
And he makes a run for it. Lorraine sees all of this. She turns to George and she's like, oh my God, that's Calvin Klein.
Isn't
She's
he
still
hottie?
calling him Calvin Klein. She's like, he's a dreamboat. Poor George.
I think it's best that she thinks his name is Calvin Klein fully.
Yeah.
I don't know. Calvin, Marty,
eventually
Klein.
she starts calling him Marty.
Marty, yeah.
I don't know. She starts to transition to calling him Marty. But, okay, so Marty makes a run for it. He runs into some kids that have, like, a skateboard, but it's not quite a skateboard. It's, like, a skateboard with, like, some wood on top of it. He breaks it in half, turns it into a skateboard. The kids are like, hey, you broke it. He gets on the skateboard, starts hauling ass away from Biff. Biff and his flunkies, they get in the car, they start chasing him. Ultimately, it's a big rat race.
It's funny how a lot of the movie takes place in like this small square.
Very small town square.
It's like literally a square.
Of Hill Valley.
Right. You can throw a rock.
They're chasing after Marty in their car. Marty's on the skateboard. Some kind of way, Marty hops over Biff's car, and Biff ultimately runs into a truck covering him and his friends in manure.
Yeah, the truck was holding manure.
The truck was transporting manure.
Yeah.
Manure. Cow shit.
What? Cow! What? Cow shit, damn it!
It was pissing me off. I couldn't get it out.
Manure.
Oh, God.
Woo. So, yes, this is true. So Marty gets away.
Biff and his friends, including Billy Zane, are covered in cow shit.
Yes.
And Marty lives to see another day.
Right. At this point, he heads back to Doc's house. When he walks in, he catches Doc watching the part of the videotape from 1985 right before Doc is like about to die. And he's like, oh, Doc, yeah. There's something I need to tell you.
He's replaying the part that he's like, oh my God, they found me. That he keeps on replaying that one part.
And Marty's about to explain what happens, but Doc's like, no, you can't tell me what happens. I don't want to know anything further because he has a fear of messing with the future.
He said a man knowing his future will change the course of history.
That's right.
Just like what you're basically what's happening to you. If you tell me, that'll happen to me and I don't want that.
Right.
And then Marty's like, okay, fine. You're right. Fine.
And then Doc shows him like his what do you call it when you have the stuff out?
Model.
His model replica of the town and how he plans on using the clock tower and the lightning to send Marty back to the past. So he like
to the future.
Back to the future. He's in the past. Back to the future. And like he sets off the little model car and it catches on fire and then Doc is like, it's gonna go better than this, I promise.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't drawn to scale and I didn't have time to paint it. But it'll go better in reality.
And then they're talking and chit-chatting, mutual important information. They're interrupted by Lorraine. She's followed Marty to Doc's door, creeper. And she comes, Doc lets her in, and Lorraine is there to ask him to take her to the dance. Will you take me to the dance?
She's like,
I was
wondering if you'd ask me.
I hate to be forward. I hate to be forward, but
I was wondering if you'd ask me to
look,
dance.
I'm not mad at a girl who's like, this is what I want.
Right, good for her.
This is who I need. Unfortunately, that is your son. Right. So it just won't work out.
And Marty's like, no one's asked you yet, thinking that George would have done it by now.
Right.
And Lorraine's like, no, not yet. And then he's like, well, what about George? And she's like, George McFly? I mean, he's cute or whatever, but I think a man should be strong and fight for the woman that he loves.
And stand up for himself. Right.
And then...
Can't argue with that.
In that scene, now Marty finds himself, he's got to, do damage control.
Right.
He goes to George's house.
Georgie.
He's like, George, what's going on?
What are you doing?
Why haven't you asked Lorraine to the dance yet?
What are you doing
and
here?
then George is like, well, Marty, how am I going to ask Lorraine to the dance if she's going with you? And then Marty's like, don't worry about that. I've got a plan. And basically, Marty has conspired this plan that he's going to take Lorraine to the dance. And at some point, crucial...
9 p.m.
He is going to take her in his car. They're going to park. That's what they call it. Outside the dance. Mm-hmm. And he's going to take advantage of her. Disgusting, because that's your mother. He's going to come on to her. He's going to harass her some kind of way. And at that point, George is going to come out, save the day, open the door, see Marty trying to harass Lorraine, and pull him out and say, hey, you get your damn hands off of her. And
must I curse?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. That's what he says.
Yes.
Must I curse? Do I have to curse? Yes, George. Come on.
George, curse. So, ultimately, him being, her hero,
savior,
saving the day.
Oh.
So, this is a plan that Marty has concocted, and he's telling that to George, and George is like, okay, Marty, if you insist. So, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
That's what we have on the agenda for the dance.
Yes. So now, next scene, it's Saturday, the night of the lightning storm, also the night of the dance. So
that's a lot.
There's a lot going on. So Doc is in the Times Square. He's setting everything up to get Marty back into the future. Before Marty goes off to the dance, Doc tells him that he's truly gonna miss him. I thought he was so sweet. I was like, oh, y'all are so cute. They're just like naturally drawn to each other. They're just like friends, which is also like Rick. Okay, never mind. It's also like Rick and Morty. Yeah. So Marty, and then at this point, Marty wants to tell Doc about him dying. Like, I need to tell you because I don't want you to die because like we're friends. But Doc is like, no. I cannot find out. I will alter the future. Please keep it to yourself. So instead, Marty goes to the diner nearby. He writes Doc a letter explaining to him that he's gonna die. He puts in an envelope that says, do not open until 1985. And he leaves the letter in Doc's jacket. And he heads off to the dance.
Yup.
So Marty and Lorraine pull up at the dance. At this point, he asks his mom, do you want to, what do you call it? Sit? Do you want to park? And she's like, of course. He's like, really? And she's like, yeah, I'm almost 16. I parked before. And he's like, Lorraine, what has gone over you? Because his mom
knows his mom to be this conservative prude who won't let his girlfriend spend the night at the cabin.
Right.
And
I still don't think that's that crazy that your mom won't let you and your girlfriend go up to a cabin by yourself.
But also, we failed to mention, like, when they were having dinner, she was saying how she doesn't.
Oh yeah, she doesn't like.
She's like, I don't like her. My age, I didn't do any of that. You're lying.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You're an alcoholic. The alcohol is getting to your brain because you're forgetting things.
And then while they're in the car, she pulls out an alcohol bottle,
a flask,
and a flask, and she an alcohol bottle. A bottle of alcohol.
Yeah.
But she pulls out a flask and a cigarette. And then he's like, "What's going on with you?" He's like, "You
Who are you?
Drink. You shouldn't smoke." And then she's like, Marty, you sound like my mother.
He's like, the nerve.
So, all this is happening.
We see George is inside. He's dancing by himself. He's waiting for his time to shine. Right. But it's not that time yet. Marty knows in order, to save his future, his family's future, his siblings' future, he has to come onto his mom. He's not looking forward to it. And he asks Lorraine, have you ever known you have to do something but like afraid to do it?
Once the moment
comes.
Got there. And then she's like, oh, Marty. She thinks like, oh, he wants to kiss me, but he's scared.
Oh, yes.
So she takes the initiative and she plants one on him.
She kisses him. He's standing there like a shocked, frozen child. And she's kissing him. And then at first she's like, okay. And then she's like, this. She pulls away. She's like, that was disgusting. She's like, I threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, she kisses him. She's like, I don't know what it is, but when I kissed you, it felt like I was kissing my little brother.
She was like, that was wrong. In my head, my body told me no.
Yeah, like, I don't know why this felt off, but it did.
Right, like in her head, the police said, no! Bad! She was like...
The angel in her
they're like,
This isn't correct.
So, that's a little relief. Then, so she pulls away. Lorraine says, like, someone's coming.
Marty...
Thinking...
It's gonna be George.
It's gonna be George.
The car door opens. It's not George. It's Biff.
Oh, God.
Biff pulls Marty out of the car, and he tells him, the damage you did to my car cost me $300. In 1955, I looked it up. It's over $3,000.
How much?
$3,444.
I don't know. I feel like we just scrape that manure off and just rock with it.
I don't know.
It was really in there.
Scrape the manure off.
It sucks. I'm not paying $3,000. That's an expensive detail. Because I can't imagine it. I don't know. Actually, 1955 cars, they're probably really fragile. You can't just... Yeah. You spit on the wrong gear and...
There you go.
The car melts.
Anywho, so...
It should be totaled on it. But yes, sorry.
A large amount of money.
Too much.
And Marty's like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Right. So... Biff hops in the car. He starts harassing Lorraine while Biff's gang, they grab onto Marty.
Billy Zane and Co.
I think Biff even punches Marty into the stomach. And Biff is like on top of Lorraine.
Yeah, he's like, y'all take care of him. I'll be back in like 20 minutes.
It's full on sexual assault. He is going to rape her.
He's going to rape her.
Yeah. It's very scary. And Marty is pulled away by Biff's gang, and then they find some random car and they throw him in the trunk and lock the trunk. Apparently it happens to be the car of the band that's performing at the dance. They get out and they're like, what the hell are you doing?
It's black men, by the way.
Black men. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Get away from us. And then like the Biff's gang runs off, and then they try to get Marty out of the car, and they're like, okay, who has a key? And Marty's like, it's in here. Where? In the trunk. And they're like, okay, well. Whoa. This is 1955. We don't have it.
Right. We don't have that kind of technology.
Yes. So,
there's no lever we can just press back here.
So while that's going on, Lorraine is in a heap of trouble because Biff is on one. He's drunk. He's an asshole, and he's about to be a rapist.
He's feeling real rapey.
Yeah, he's feeling real rapey. So it's about that time.
It's about that time.
George arrives to do his thing. He thinks he's gonna find Marty, a man he can take, and two, we have this planned out. Right. He opens the door, boo bop bam, it's Biff.
It's not Marty. And he opens the door, he pulls the shoulder of he believes to be Marty and says, you get your damn hands off of her. Turns around, it's Biff. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yes.
So, Biff, being Biff, grabs George, twists his arm. Yeah. And then Lorraine is like,
get off
George! Get off of him! George! Biff! I don't know what she's saying. She's saying
what are you saying? She's saying, don't put it on her. You're like, she's talking crazy right now. She's not being innocent.
Because what I meant to say is, before it doesn't matter.
Oh.
She's like, you're going to break his arm.
Yeah.
So then George winds up the courage, ball up his fist, and he hits Biff in the face.
Yeah, because he like pushes her down, and he's like, this is enough. You don't hurt my girl.
Yeah.
Punches in the face, knocks him out.
I can't imagine that he could create a punch strong enough to knock out Biff.
That rage, I don't think he could either, honestly.
But it's a movie. It happens. He's knocked out.
Everyone sees it. Everyone is like, who's that guy? Is that George McFly? He should be the president of the United States.
Have you thought about running for class president,
They're
George?
doing a lot.
They're doing a lot.
Like, does everyone, like, is Biff, like, I'm assuming everyone hates Biff, but, like, Jesus, no one's ever stood up to him before?
So he grabs Lorraine, grabs her hand. He's like, do you want to go into the dance?
Right.
So they go make their way to the dance.
And then Marty, having seen all this, he thinks, perfect, my future is secured. But he takes out the photo of his siblings and he sees that his sister's body is, the brother's gone and the sister's body is like fading away. So we're missing something. They still need to kiss.
Right. The deal that locks it all in
is that kiss.
Is the kiss.
It's the kiss.
Because the mom said she kissed him and she knew once she kissed him that she was going to spend the rest of her life with him.
Worst decision ever.
So the dance isn't enough. This we've gotten something, but this isn't enough. He's got to get him to kiss.
Right.
So somehow he breaks out of the car. Right. He breaks out of the truck.
Oh, the band people got him out the truck.
Got him.
They were
the
like,
truck.
They
use like a
willy wagon. Wish him up bodies.
And they get him out the trunk. He says thanks. Cool. He goes off somehow.
So he sees that the picture's fading. He goes back. He's like, hey, you guys need to get back on stage because, the music's playing. You got to say that they dance.
Right. There's no music.
There's no
They can't dance. They don't dance. They don't kiss. Yes. Exactly. So it's all coming back to me.
Back to her.
It's all coming back. So he goes out to the band members again. He's like, hey, y'all got to get back out there. You got to get on stage. There's no dancing.
Right.
We need dancing.
And they're like, the part's over.
In the process of trying to get Marty out of the car, one of the drummers, the lead singer,
the guitarist,
he broke or cut his hand open. And they're like, Calvin cut his hand open. He can't perform like this. Unless you know somebody who plays guitar, there ain't no dance happening. We're not performing. Marty steps in. He can play the guitar. He can play the guitar. He's an aspiring musician.
Yes.
So he steps up to the plate. But Lorraine and George, they're on the dance floor, right? They start to dance. Somebody pulls Lorraine away from George.
Oh my God.
He cuts in.
Like, how many ops does this man have?
Like, literally, why?
Is Lorraine the hottest chick there? I'm just like, what the hell?
She's the hottest girl in town.
Gotta be. And then she ends up with George
McFly.
I don't buy that storyline. Whatever.
So, somebody interrupts. They can't dance.
They're like, come here. And why is everyone so rapey?
It's the 50s.
Like, why is everybody?
It's the 50s.
They're supposed to be polite. It's supposed to be like, you need to call my dad to see you want to dance with me. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
I guess.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
So Lorraine is pulled away from George. Someone else is dancing with George at this point. Marty's on stage.
Lorraine.
What did I say?
Someone else is dancing with George.
Someone else is dancing with Lorraine.
Not
Marty
really. Yeah.
is on stage with the band.
He's fading.
And he's getting weak.
Oh, no.
His hand is disintegrating because his parents aren't dancing. The band is looking at him like, why aren't you playing the guitar? You suck. And he's like, I'm dying over here. Literally.
See, that doesn't... The fact that someone would fade in front of you, that would fuck up time. It's just, doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So...
Time travel.
George gets up, musters up the courage again to claim his girl. He tells the guy who snuck in,
beat it.
Get out of here. I'm dancing with
Hit
Lorraine.
The bricks.
So they dance. Marty's, he's getting it. He's getting his energy back. And then, as the band is playing, Lorraine and George share a kiss.
Woo!
He's back, baby. He's full speed, full throttle. His hand is no longer disintegrating. Marty looks at the picture. His brother is back. His sister is back. And he's back.
Yep.
He did it!
Right.
They're in love. They've fallen in love. They kiss. And now Lorraine knows that she will spend the rest of her life with George. We have success.
Right.
Also, something to add, Marty plays like rock music. It goes over well, then it goes bad.
He plays Go Johnny Go. Go Johnny Go, go, go. If it goes bad when he does it solo,
you know what,
it's too progressive.
Make me mad about this. It's like, so he plays like the rock music. They're liking it. Then the guy who cut his hand.
Yeah. He's like,
whatever his name. He calls up his producer, and he's like, you know that new sound you were looking for? Well, listen to this. I don't like how they tried to insinuate that a white man made a rock and roll. Right. I was like, okay. Of course.
Like we stole it.
Very on brand for you people.
Well, technically speaking, if you really think about it, he didn't create it because he stole it.
But
he brought it back to the past so they could have... Oh, time travel, man. It's just confusing.
Because, like, he low-key does create it.
But he doesn't because he got it from somebody else.
But he kind of does.
He doesn't create it.
Because he's the first to do it.
He doesn't create it, but he tells the world. He brings it to the people.
That they've never heard of.
But they think he created it.
Anywho, so Lorraine and George, they run into Marty. Lorraine's like, hey, Marty, I hope it's okay, but George offered to take me home. I hope that's okay with you. And then Marty's like, oh, you crazy kids, go have fun, no worries.
I love when he like he does a little cute little punch across the chin thing. Like, you crazy kids. I love when people do that. Bring that back.
I don't even notice it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
He does it to her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, after she's like, he's gonna bring me home. He's like, yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think the last thing she says, she's like, oh, Marty, I really like that name.
Yeah, he says his goodbyes to them. They're like, will we ever see you again? I don't know why they just assume like he would disappear after this.
Will we ever see you? You know, he's from Europe.
And he's like, yeah, probably sometime in the future.
Like, they're like, does he even go here?
Right,
Like,
where did you come from?
Right. I mean, that's fair.
So they say their goodbyes, and then as he walks off, Lorraine is like, huh, Marty. I like that name.
Right.
So
Marty meets back up with Doc at the Times Square. No. At City Square. The City Square.
Man Square.
Hall Square.
Times Square. What did you call it?
I almost said Times Square, but the Times Square.
City Square.
The City Square. The Lightning Bolt Square. The main part.
Hall.
The main area.
City Hall.
Main Street.
Main town.
Main Street town. Times 2. So he meets Doc there. He tells him that everything works out, and he tells Doc that George stood up for himself, and he even knocked.
He stood up. So he tells Doc that he stood up to Biff for the first time ever.
Right.
And Doc's like, the first time ever? And he stops. And he's like, you know what? We're moving on. We don't have time for this. That'll come into play later.
Yes.
And Doc just disregards it. He's like, we don't have time.
Yeah, because lightning's happening in like 10 minutes, so we got to do it.
So Doc runs Marty the plan. He's like, okay, in exactly like 7 minutes and 46 seconds, I've set a timer here. You're going to start at the end of this street. I even drew out a start sign for you to start in the dang DeLorean. What's going to happen? At approximately 7 minutes and 46 seconds, when that timer on the stopwatch goes off, you're going to put that DeLorean into full gas. Hit the pedals. Once you hit 88 degrees, the lightning is going to strike the clock tower, which is going to strike the pole that is extended to the molecular stabilizer.
Oh, bitch. I keep like exiting out of it.
Why do you keep on doing that? Stop. You know we're going to need it.
I don't know. We don't. The flux capacitor.
The lightning is going to strike the clock tower. As you are driving at 88 miles per hour, the pole that is on the DeLorean will extend to the wire that is connected to the clock tower.
Connected to the flux.
Igniting the flux capacitor and bringing you into the future to 1985. I've timed it out perfectly. We can't miss it. This is it. This is our only opportunity.
Seems simple enough.
But if anything goes wrong, or you're stuck here, bro.
Right.
So,
of course
they're like, okay, cool. Does he try to tell him again?
No, because he's already put... So
no, he finds
yeah,
the
so
note.
Doc finds a note. He rips it up. He's like, I don't want to know.
He finds a note that Marty writes for him after he's given him the plan. And then he's like, but Doc, you've gotta know. He's like, no, I can't risk it. And Marty's just like, it's a risk that you're gonna have to take.
But it's too late. At this point, lightning, like, shit's going awry. So he doesn't even have time to argue with him.
Yeah, he rips it up.
Yeah, he rips it up. Shit's going awry. I was very stressed. It's like 10 minutes of stress.
Yeah, it's like this whole part.
So first off, like the
lightning
wires
already hits.
Yeah,
and it hits like a tree.
Right, knocking the tree down, disconnecting some wires.
Yeah. So
they have to reconnect the wires. Doc's got to climb on top of the clock.
Marty's got to go to the starting point.
Yeah,
but Doc's got to reconnect this wire.
Yeah.
So somehow he got to climb up the lightning tower.
The
clock tower.
The clock tower, yeah.
He climbs up the clock tower. Time's a ticking. Marty's back there. The car won't start.
Right, the car won't start.
Meanwhile, the wires are unconnected, and now the car not starting.
Yeah.
So Doc's climbing up the clock tower to connect the wire to the pole or something like that. Marty is trying to start the car. It's not starting.
It's not starting.
He's like, not right now. God, no. The timer's gone off. He was supposed to start the car 20 seconds ago.
Uh-huh.
And he hits he bangs his head against the DeLorean, and that starts it. And he's like, okay, great.
Right. So Doc...
I feel like that 20-second delay should have messed everything up. But whatever.
Oh.
Because the timer goes off and the car's not starting.
Oh, okay.
It's been like 30 seconds.
Yeah. But maybe it's just time. So, and then right before Marty takes off, because, Doc has ripped up his letter, he's like, okay, I'm going to send myself back in time 10 minutes in the past, right before Doc dies, to stop Doc from being murdered. Since Doc won't listen to me, I'm gonna go back to my original time, but 10 minutes before Doc dies, so I can save him. But yeah, Doc connects all the wires. Morty goes 88 miles per hour. He's back to the past, back to the future.
Something else goes wrong. But
that was too much. But yes,
another wire gets lost.
It's like 10 minutes of stress. When I was watching it, I was like, I can't take this.
Yeah, it was like too much with the wires. It should have just been like the one wire that got knocked down by the tree. But then the other one that was like plugged into the wall also got knocked out. I was like,
right, like he's literally connecting it as the lightning strikes. Right. He zaps himself.
Yeah, literally as the lightning strikes. Like, he barely got there.
Right. He couldn't even enjoy watching him go to the future. It's just like, okay, he went.
It's like, did it work?
You can't even watch your own.
Yeah, you can't even enjoy it.
Right. So, yes, just in time for the lightning to strike, Marty is sent back to 1985. He's not sent back to the mall. He's sent back to the Times Square. So, he's back in 1985. He's arrived. He's happy. Everything looks 1985-y. But at this point, the DeLorean, once again, has broken down. So he has to run from the Times Square or whatever to the mall. So he makes it. And then right before he starts running, he sees the vans with
the Libyans.
Yeah, that they're driving. He's like, oh, shit. Gotta go. Gotta blast. So he makes it in time to watch Doc die. Unfortunately, he runs upon. He sees his
future self.
Right. Get into the DeLorean, which is a mindfuck.
Yeah. So I'm watching that. I was like, so how does...
I would have thrown up.
No, but like, what? That's where I got confused. I was like, okay, so how are they both existing right now?
That's like in the second one, Doc meets he meets himself, and he's like standing. He actually like talks to him.
Right.
It's fucked up.
Oh, he does meet him in the second one.
Yeah.
See, that's why I be saying the first one and the second one, they're really they're so confusing and they overlap because I complete that.
Because when you really think about this is a 3-part movie.
Right.
I feel like, parts now, like I feel like the new
But him talking to himself in the second one, I thought that happened.
It happened in this one, yes. And I feel like these movies are very much you need to, if you can, sit down and watch them in one sitting. Because it really is just 3 parts.
Right.
Not like 3 separate movies, it's like 3 parts. Because I feel like I know they jump times, but I feel like this all takes place in like one day.
It probably does take place in
like
2 weeks.
They're always trying to go back to the same day. I feel like
always going back to the November 4th, 1985.
So it's just like we're just trying to start on the same day in a nice time. But yeah, okay, probably 2 weeks time. You're right. Oh, okay, so he's back. He's run to the mall. He sees Doc get shot. He runs over to Doc and he's like, "Oh no, not you, Doc." Not my boy. But Doc opens his eyes, he wakes up, and he opens his coat, and he reveals that he has a bulletproof vest on.
You could see her right now. She was rubbing her titties.
This is my bulletproof vest. You should get yourself one. And then Marty's like, what? How did you know? And then Doc's like, I put the letter back together. I couldn't
resist. He read the letter. He put it back together. And then Marty's like, what's all that? What was all that stuff about messing up with the time? And he's like, look, it was a shot I was willing to take.
Right, look, I thought it was important. Right. I'm important to this. I'm not a little Joe Smo. I created time travel, so I can fuck with it. So, Doc, alive and healthy. And then, like, the Libyans, like, ran into, like, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but they ran into something. Like a pole. Yeah, they crashed the car. But yes, Doc takes Marty home. Marty.
Yeah,
and instantly, Doc is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go to the year 2015.
I'm going 30 years in the future.
I think, dude, if I was Marty, I'd have been like, can you fucking relax? Like, I almost got stuck in the wrong time.
Chill, bro.
He didn't almost die, but, like, I feel like you shouldn't do something like, I almost died. Like, I didn't almost die, but, like, why would you...
It just, like, take a week off.
Take a week off.
Like, this has been a lot.
Let's do a plan we can prep to make sure this doesn't happen again. We should have a fail-safe plan.
Right. I mean, I guess, like, for Marty was a lot, but for Doc...
He was like, this is what I was supposed to be doing?
Well, no, because, like, Marty had 1955 Doc and 1985 Doc. So it's just, like... You see what I'm saying?
No.
Like, Marty, he, like, did all this, like, I'm in the present now, I'm in 1985, now I'm going to 1955, we gotta build this time travel. Like, 1955 Doc experienced all of that.
Oh.
1985 Doc didn't really have all that headache.
So nonchalant.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you were gone for like 5 minutes, and now you're back. Now let me go to 2015.
I was like, Doc, I will break this machine.
So, Marty is dropped off by Doc. He's like, I'm going 30 years into the future. I would love to say that they really got 2015 wrong.
Right.
Back to the Future. Like, so wrong. But Marty walks into his home.
And then he tells Doc, look me up.
Oh, look me up in the future, yeah. So, Marty walks into his home and...
Passed out.
No.
What?
Passes out.
Yeah, he passes out. He don't see nothing until the morning.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh. He goes to sleep.
He goes to sleep, and in the morning, he's like, what the fuck? He, like, wakes up, and he's like, what?
Everything looks different. His house is nicer. The furniture is nicer. It doesn't look poor.
It doesn't look poor. Which is, to me, I
would... upper middle class.
I would think they would live somewhere else then. I don't know. Who am I?
I thought the same thing, too. But I feel like they live in a nice neighborhood. It's just like... They might have let the house go. They just don't. The interior.
I guess. I don't know.
Like, they have money to renovate.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Roseanne.
Yeah.
When they keep the same house, and then when the lottery, they keep the same house, but they get all those.
Yeah. Random crap.
Yeah. It was giving like that. So, the house is different. It's nicer. He comes in, he sees his oldest brother in a suit.
He's like,
why are you dressed like that? He's like, I always wear a suit before I go to the office. The office? You work at the Burger King.
Yeah.
He's like, haha, really funny. He sees his sister. I don't know what she's doing.
She's talking about how, like, another guy asked me out, because that's what girls are into.
Oh.
They just want boys to ask them out. And that's all they care about. They're fulfilled.
I'm weak.
Like, the brother gets a full-time job, she gets boys.
She gets boys.
Okay,
it's
whatever.
still the 80s, Jordan.
Whatever.
So, and then... he sees his parents come in. His mom, she looks great. His dad has like this newfound confidence that he's never seen before. He smacks his mom on the butt. And he's like, whoa, what's going on with you guys?
Right.
And Biff pulls up.
Well, first...
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Biff hasn't pulled up yet. His dad is talking about this new book that he just wrote.
Right,
he's rich now.
He's rich. He wrote his sci-fi books.
Yeah.
I think the mom asked him, like, "Oh, Marty, what time are you leaving to go to the lake house with Jennifer? Or, like, when's that happening?" And then Marty's like, "Are you serious? We crashed the car. I can't go anymore." And they're like, everyone's like, "What? The car's crashed?" They go outside, and then they see Biff polishing one of the cars.
He's waxing the car.
So we see that Biff now works for George. And
then George is like, make sure you give it a second coat.
I didn't like how he was a dick to him.
It's okay.
But I almost feel bad for Biff.
Don't. He's a rapist, remember?
Yeah. But it was like such a, like, I don't know, he's like such a brown.
No buts for the rapist.
But maybe
Biff sucks.
Yeah, fine.
And just wait how he pans out in the second one.
Girl. Oof.
Right, the worst.
The worst.
So, Biff is not working for them. George is a best-selling author. Lorraine's not an alcoholic. Their kids are successful. And then Marty has this, like, Toyota, like, 4Runner truck.
It's a nice car.
That he wanted.
Yeah. That he's going to take Jennifer to the lake house with.
So, things are on the up and up.
Money, honey.
So, this is what Doc was talking about when Marty said this is the first time he's ever stood up to Biff. And he was like, first time ever?
Mm-hmm.
Changes the course of everything.
Right.
The entire trajectory of the family was changed because George stood up to Biff.
Right. Because in theory, he should have went back to his shitty house and his bum parents and his sad, and like that's what Biff kicking his father's ass. That's the reality of that they lived. It shouldn't have been no better or no worse.
It should have been the same. But Oswald didn't dwell until Marty literally goes outside and Doc's back. He's back from the future. He's like, Marty,
Doc!
I can't believe it. I just came back from the year 2015. And then Marty's like, oh my God, what's up? Is it my parents? He's like, is it me? He's like, no, your parents are fine. You're fine. It's your children, Marty. And then he's like, you've got to come with me. And then he's like, I got to come with you. Me and Jennifer were going to the lake house. He's like, bring her too. It concerns her as well. The children.
Right. And while he's doing that, apparently he's fixed the whole plutonium thing. The plutonium? He can fill his car with like compost. Like compost, which is pretty cool. But yeah, his kids are in danger. Also, I feel like that's not his problem. Like, you can't just go back in the past because your
kids are shitty.
People's kids are shitty.
Yeah.
People's parents are shitty. You can't just change the course of everything because of one family's. Like, this is good enough. Like, you can't have it all, man.
You can't have it all.
And if your son wants to go rob a bank or whatever the hell he does in the second one, that's just his choice.
Yeah, we can't keep on altering the past and the present. Here.
So Marty can have decent kids.
Right, just so you can have the life that you so desire.
Right.
It's not how it goes. Be a better parent. Raise your kids to be good people.
Exactly.
Then you wouldn't be in this situation.
He could.
I don't think I like the fact that they come back and they're like richer and like better off.
Yeah.
I was reading, how the guy who plays George McFly, how the director didn't like him or whatever.
Right.
He told the director, he was like, basically told him when he read the script or at some point, he was just like, I don't think they should get money. He's like, I think the reward should be love, not money. And the director was like, get the fuck out of my face. Before I fire you.
Get to
But I agree. I don't know how I feel about it either.
The only reason why I'm okay with them having money here is because it sounds like that leads to something bad further down the line.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think if this was a one and done, they should just be happy. Yeah. Be poor, happy. And if at the very least, Biff should not be on his ass.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to be rich.
I feel like,
he needs to be more.
The mom shouldn't, I think their lifestyle should have been the same. The mom just shouldn't have been an alcoholic. And Biff shouldn't have been up his ass anymore.
Yeah.
But keep everything else.
Yeah. I agree with the guy. But I guess for the sake of we're doing 3 parts, dude. You don't fucking know. Right. But I can't remember what kind of lifestyle he comes back in the final one. The only thing I remember, they don't really talk about this one, the whole chicken thing.
Chicken?
You remember he doesn't like when people call him chicken? And he wants to fight someone. And I know when he comes back on the third one, because I think he's supposed to die now.
That literally doesn't even happen
right.
Here.
They don't bring up the whole chicken shit. But that's his whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
The second and third one. Someone calls him a chicken. He's supposed to die in a car accident or something like that. You remember? And when he finally makes it back, he's in the car. He's in his. I think he might still be rich at the end because he's driving in that big old Jeep thing, and some kids next to him are like, "Chicken, chicken, let's race." And then he stops, and the car comes out. It should have hit him, but it doesn't because he stopped.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
But his parents still might be rich because he's still driving that nice car in it.
I do.
He's right. Unless it's the white truck, but I think he's still driving a nice car. I actually might fucking watch all.
I know. I feel like I need to watch the second and the third one.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm gonna binge watch them. I just watched
the second one. I definitely want to watch. Okay, the film ends. This is how it ends.
Yeah,
they're well off. Just in case y'all got lost there. The family's well off.
The film is
Doc comes in and he's like, Marty, we got to go to the year 2015 because your children are shit.
Right.
Jennifer can come with. Let's go. And they hop in the car.
And so that leads us to part two, and then part 3.
All right. This has been fun. It's been real. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, review, comment, even if it's a bad comment.
No.
Catch you guys later.
Tell your friends. Tell your mother. Deuces.
Bye.